special kid, and he's just a freshman.
And Stanford trying to snap this 10-game losing streak in conference. Ethan Darden, the left-hander, is ready to go for Clemson. And the ground ball specialist junior is having a pitch communication issue. They have seen 3 pitchers for Clemson in the first 2 days, and all of them have had issues before their first pitch.
Gotta just turn it up. Turn up the volume a little bit. A lot of people in the stands right now.
Sounds like we're getting the volume turned up here as the first pitch of the ball game is off the plate. That's 1-0 already. A chirpy crowd tonight here on this beautiful evening for baseball on the Clemson campus. Trevor Haskins leads the Stanford team in home runs, and he lines that one up the alley in right center field. It'll get to the wall. Haskins on his way to second, a leadoff double for the Stanford third baseman. So a good start as he gave up the extra base hit. You see Ethan Darden there, the junior from South Carolina. He works quick. He throws strikes when he's at his best.
Yeah, and when he's at his best, he's throwing a lot of strikes, especially utilizing that fastball. It's a forward pitch mix. It's a fastball, a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. The changeup being his second best pitch. That's why he's a very good ground ball pitcher.
First pitch to the senior shortstop, Timo Becerra, is outside a ball, 1-0. Becerra, the normally sure-handed shortstop, had a key error in the first inning last night. Dave Esker kind of let his team have it after the second inning of yesterday's game. A rare show of emotion from the Stanford coach. But he was unhappy with the way they played yesterday. And listen, I think it was a lot of putting pressure on themselves. You get a look at Esker, who led Stanford to 3 straight Omaha appearances in this decade. To short, Chufo will throw out Becerra for the first down.
For me, it's really important for Stanford to be able to get on the board early. We saw it in yesterday's ballgame. It seemed like once Clemson scored and got on top, Stanford just the air just let out of them. So for them to get on ahead, really important.
Esker, former star shortstop on a national championship team at Stanford. And here's the slugging freshman, Rintaro Sasaki. The Japanese-born first baseman takes a ball low. Sasaki, a unique player in that he eschewed the NPB draft, that's the Japanese league, to come and play his college ball at Stanford. And he rolls that one to first, right over the bag, and Gaffney will touch up for out number 2. 2 outs, a man at third, and that'll bring up Jimmy Nadai. And that was when Darden is at his best. He's getting a lot of those ground balls.
Yeah, a lot of ground balls, especially what we talked about with that fastball. He can move around that fastball. He's not just an east and west type pitcher where he's going outside and inside. He can also climb the ladder. We're seeing early on, too, some 92-mile-an-hour fastballs out of Darden. He usually stays right in that range of 88 to 90 miles an hour.
First pitch is a strike on the outside corner to Jimmy Nadai, the second baseman. Born in Australia. Nadai second on this team in home runs and has moved into the cleanup spot. He's been one of the hotter hitters in the Stanford lineup. Takes outside. It's 1-1. This is where Stanford needs a big hit. They have lost, as we mentioned, 10 in a row in conference play. Before last night, they had a lead in 5 of the previous 6 games. And the count 1-2. You know, they would love nothing more than to play downhill baseball.
And looking at the way that Clemson is playing, too, there's a huge hole in that right side. And if I'm Nadai, I am keying in on that. I'm letting that ball travel a little bit more and just trying to shoot a ground ball to second base.
Breaking ball down low, it's 2-2.
Darden will give you a pitch, especially on that outside corner. He does like throwing that pitch away. Does have a little bit of run to that outside. So you can get that pitch. It's just trying not to pull it. Stay back on it. Drive it the opposite way.
The 2-2. And Tapper foul up along third. I always feel like you hear that from a right-handed hitter against a lefty sinker baller, that mindset, right, is to stay on the off gap.
Yeah.
So is it easier said than done?
I mean, yes, it's easier said than done. Of course,
yeah.
baseball is not an easy sport to play, but these guys have been playing this game for a very long time. They play, pepper out there where you're just kind of pushing the ball where you want it to be. Staying inside that baseball and driving it the opposite way, especially off a sinker baller, is what you want to do.
Called strike 3 at the bottom of the zone, and despite the leadoff double, Darden posts to 0. We head to the bottom of the first. Stanford 0. Clemson coming to bat. ACC Baseball is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. Gorgeous night here in Clemson, South Carolina. Clemson Music Fest going on up the road, and hiding there, undoubtedly listening to some of that, is Eric Bakich. Jacob Jarrell, you see in the photo there, has been red hot. Their catcher, Jarrell, has been outstanding.
Yeah, 6 home runs in the last 9 games. How about 3 home runs in his last 2? He's been one of the guys that has been driving it out of the ballpark. Of course, we talked about Clemson and the lack of the home runs. Well, he's been helping.
Opposite field shot last night. And you see the starter for Stanford tonight, Ryan Speciak, who's been one of the key relievers, a sophomore right-hander. And he's going to be an opener tonight. So let's talk through the Stanford pitching plan, because this isn't like there's a bunch of righties there and this is a good right-on-right matchup, and then you go to the lefty to try and find more favorable matchups and not at the face of the top of the order the third time, which is kind of how this started. This is a little different. This is almost just like a mojo change.
Yeah, this is exactly what it is. It's Stanford just trying to do something different. They've been kicking it around about having an opener and decided, you know what? Now is the time. Speciak on the mound. It's a 3-pitch mix. A fastball, 91 and 93 miles an hour. Has a slider and a changeup. They're hoping just to get 2 innings out of him. I asked David Esker, hey, how about if he's doing really well through 2 innings, are you going to put him through the third? He said, nope, not doing that. We've been bit too many times before. We're going to let him throw 2 and end it at that.
Pitching coach Thomas Eager saying, hey, listen, we keep doing the same things over and over again, right? And you're not expecting different results. That's one of the reasons for the change. And Speciak starts. Dominic Listy with a fastball strike, transfer from Indiana State. One of the top on-basemen in the country, a .524 on-base percentage for the man who told Eric Bakich that he is obsessed with getting to first base.
Well, he's definitely been doing it. He's a guy, too, that even in favorable counts, 2 0s and 3 1s, he will take a fastball down the middle. He is not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
Here's the 1-1. Bakich said that when they had that conversation when he was in the transfer portal, and Listy said that to him, he said, I wanted to reach through the phone and hug him.
I think any head coach would say the same thing.
You get a look at Eric Bakich with his mentor, the Hall of Fame coach Jack Leggett, who's number 7 is retired here. 2-1 misses low, and the count 3-1 to Listy.
Yeah, don't be surprised if all of a sudden it's a 3-1 fastball right down the middle and Listy just takes it.
The pitch. He fouls it away. Count 3-2.
He was waiting for it. Yesterday's ball game, I saw him take 2 fastballs right down the middle on 3-1 counts. Was not swinging. Today he decided, you know what? If he throws me one, I'm going to go for it. Especially on 2 throwing that fastball 94, 95 miles an hour, higher than his average. Usually sitting 91 and 93.
Here comes the 3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. And no surprise, Dominic Listy draws a leadoff walk.
You just got to love the emotion, too, by Clemson and Listy there. I mean, it's a walk, but he is so pumped about that walk and winning that battle. Here it is. It's a fastball up.
That's the leadoff hitter of the game, and one of the reasons he's pumped is because Cam Canarella had a big night last night with a pair of doubles. The top prospect in this Clemson lineup takes high, ball one. Canarella, preseason All-American. He's had a decent year batting average-wise, but just one home run after 11 a season ago. He was a freshman All-American. He takes down low, the count 2-0. He is a likely first-round draft pick coming up in July's Major League Baseball first-year player draft. But we talked a little bit yesterday, Gabby, about the power for Canarella and how it may have been impacted by the surgery he had to repair a labrum tear in his right shoulder back in July.
He played with a torn labrum all last year, and he still hit 11 home runs. But of course, you got to go through surgery. You got to get it repaired. So of course, that's going to impact what you're doing in the weight room.
Listy bluffs going. There's a strike. It's 3-1.
And because of that, it's going to take a little bit longer for him to get back that strength that he lost because of that surgery. Well, it looks like he's finally found it. He's finally strong. Yesterday, he hit the ball extremely hard.
3-1. Swings through that high heater and the count's full. Well, he has not been chasing very much this season. He's been making better swing decisions, and this Clemson team will run a little bit. You almost wonder if they put Listy in motion here.
I think you do, especially with Canarella, who is a very good contact hitter.
He goes, and Canarella takes ball 4, and the first two have reached in the Clemson first.
This is not what David Esker wanted, especially from the opener, to walk the first two guys. And that's the thing with Clemson. They will work counts. They will make a pitcher throw pitches. They will not technically swing out of the zone. We saw yesterday's ball game. They were not swinging out of the zone. When you're throwing 94, 95 miles an hour, got to just go right after these hitters and say, hey, here it is. You're going to have to earn your way on.
Thomas Eager, the pitching coach for Stanford, and be a little bit of a smile on his face. I mean, you've been in this, you've been in these conversations. Yep. What's it like from that standpoint? What are you expecting Thomas Eager to say here?
Well, Eager, what the best part was is that smile, right? You go up there and you crack a joke. You do something to take what's going on away from the player. Whoever it is, whoever's on that mound, you want to basically get them to relax and make them understand, hey, right here, you're one pitch away from a ground ball double play, and then one pitch away getting out of this without giving up a run. But you got to go and attack. You have to get into attack mode. And right now, the biggest thing, strike one.
You saw all three veteran infielders there. Becerra, the shortstop, Nanai, the second baseman, Haskins, the third baseman. Really encouraging Speciak in this spot. And he has to face Jaron Purify, who's worked his way into the 3-hole in this lineup. 12 pitches so far for the right-hander, just 4 strikes. And the first one bounces away from Som, and Clemson has 2 in scoring position with nobody out in the first. It's a wild pitch as that one bounced in front of the plate. And now we'll see how Stanford plays the infield. And Charles Sasaki now trying to encourage Speciak, the freshman first baseman. So Stanford trying to create some energy here, Gabby, it looks like. Here's the 1-0. Upstairs, 2-0.
Yes, Stanford already has somebody up in the bullpen getting ready. And it's not going to be Lim either yet.
Torrin O'Haron is getting loose, who's one of the key relief arms for Stanford. The 2-0, way outside, it's 3-0.
It's going to be interesting here with a base open. I know it would load the bases, but then all of a sudden you do have a chance to at least maybe play corners in, or give yourself a chance at a double play of keeping Clemson from scoring. If not, you can at least have a double play in order. You give up one run, but you get the 2 outs.
3-0 the count. And a strike. It's 3-1 to Purify. Purify not a big power threat, but he handles the bat extremely well. The sophomore from the Detroit area. He was the starting second baseman as a freshman a year ago and now finds himself in the heart of the Clemson lineup. 3-1's a strike and the count is full. Taking all the way on 3-1. Clemson won the opener of this series 11-1 last night, a run rule victory. Dave Esker's heading out to the bullpen. The head coach for Stanford, and Speciak comes back to get a strikeout, 1 out.
Oh, that's big. And you know what I liked about Speciak, too, on this one? It was a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. And understanding, you know what? I need to throw a strike here. And it's not trying to just rear back, grip it and rip it and throw it as hard as I can, 94, 95. I would rather throw 91, 92 and hit my spots.
So 1 out for Colin Priest. The sophomore transfer from Michigan. Grew up in Florida. He was an all Big Ten freshman performer last year as he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Priest average in the 250s, but he has power. Half a dozen home runs on this season. Here comes the 0-1. Hammered to deep right center field, way back and way out of here. .417 feet on the 3-run blast from Colin Priest, and Clemson leads 3-0. Home run number 7 on the season for the sophomore has got this Clemson fan base excited again. Speciak, who struggled with his control early, giving up the 3-run home run, and now Thomas Eager is going to come out and make a pitching change. This is not how Stanford drew it up tonight. Speciak faces 4 hitters and leaves trailing 3-0. Colin Priest with an absolute tank to give Clemson the lead.
My goodness, a changeup down the middle and absolutely hammered by Colin Priest. 106 miles an hour off the bat, 417 feet, 3-run shot to get Clemson on top 3-0.
Colin Priest's 3-run home run has given Clemson the lead in the first, and Stanford already into their bullpen on this day when they were hoping to get 2 innings out of Ryan Speciak before turning it over to Christian Lim. Torrin O'Haron, another one of their key relievers, will enter the game. And the right-hander will try and keep this a 3-0 deficit to try and get Stanford's offense something to work with. It has been a frustrating, well, now nearly a month for the Stanford team in conference play. Dave Esker has seen a lot in his time as a head coach, first at Cal and at Stanford, but I'm not sure that he could have predicted that with the way his team started this year at 5-1 in ACC play, that they'd now be 5-11. Luke Gaffney will hit.
No, Mike, we definitely talked about Lim coming into the ball game after Speciak would leave after 2 innings. there is that thought process of Lim thinking already ahead of, hey, it's going to be 2 innings before I come in. He's a starting pitcher. There, he has to get ready. He has to get loose. He's got to stretch out. You can't just all of a sudden throw him into the ball game, which is why all of a sudden now you have to kind of use another relief pitcher to get you to that point.
His last outing, 2 runs and 6 innings of work against a powerful Georgia Tech offense. Georgia Tech swept that series at Stanford. The 0-2 to Gaffney, and he lines that one past Sasaki and down the right field line. Luke Gaffney on his way to second, and he'll shut it down there with a 1-out double.
Well, this Clemson Tigers team, they're relentless. They do not take their foot off the gas. It's just a good fastball. It's up and away at 96 miles an hour. Luke Gaffney just stays on it, doesn't try to pull it. Barrel to the baseball. Double to right field. And Clemson has another guy in scoring position.
Jacob Jarrell, who has been red hot, 6 homers in his last 9 games, and he pops the first one up. It's a long run for Sasaki, and the first baseman makes the play, and tagging and heading to third is Gaffney. Aggressive base running from Gaffney at second. He never hesitated, and it didn't look like Sasaki was able to pick him up quite right away.
No, I mean, I think it's a really tough play anyways for Sasaki. He had to run a very long way to make this play. He wants to make sure that he gets the baseball. And, you know, getting the baseball, turning around to look, it's already 2 outs. No reason to try to hurry the throw it away and give Clemson another run. He gets to third. There's 2 outs. A base hit, probably going to score him anyways.
Freshman T.P. Wentworth, who made his first ACC start and just his second of the year yesterday, had a base hit. And the California native fouls the first pitch off, 0-1. Here's the set. And the 0-1 outside, 1-1. We were talking yesterday about the style of helmet that Wentworth is wearing. It had a little bit of dad hat vibes. Even with a different color, he still is carrying that off. It's a look, man.
It looks tight. It looks tight. Every look, that helmet does not look so tight.
Upstairs, it's 2-1. Now, I also think that last night he was going with the matte helmet. While you see the gloss there for Gaffney,
it's the same thing,
and it's
right?
a matte helmet again tonight. So maybe it's just that his teammates haven't caught up with what's actually fashionable. You know, the kids, they'll always tell you where things are going. It's 2-2.
Tell you what, Aaron has a really good arm. That fastball has been at 94 to 96 miles an hour. Does have a slider and a changeup to go along with it. But I like him just going right after guys with that fastball.
I want to point out that was the first split screen in history to compare helmets. 2-2 the count. And the pitch to Wentworth. In the air to left. Backing up on it a couple of steps and making the catch is McDonald, and the inning is over. But Clemson scores 3 times on the Colin Priest 3-run homer. We head to the second, 3-0 Tigers.
Maybe.
Tatum Marsh hasn't been bothered by the noise at all. The freshman outfielder. Look at those numbers in the last 11 games. Including an opposite field home run last night. He was 1 for 2, 1-0 with a count. Marsh, just a freshman from Valley Christian in San Jose. He fouls it back, 1-1. We were talking to Thomas Eager, the pitching coach for Stanford, is also the recruiting coordinator. And when we brought up Marsh's name, what was it that he said? Man, this guy's just built different.
Yeah, he's just different. Nothing bothers him. It doesn't really matter. He goes out there. He plays the game right. You look at the swing. It's very quiet. quick to the baseball. He's a freshman that I don't think really gets fazed by anything.
He lines it into center field, and he has a leadoff base hit to start the Stanford second.
That's back-to-back innings, too, for Stanford, getting the leadoff hitter on base. Last inning, they weren't really able to do anything with it. They need to get something going here. And how about that? The freshman started it up again.
He has been in the middle of things. This is the second series I've had with Stanford in the last couple of weeks. And in the Virginia series, he was outstanding offensively and defensively. It gives him a little athleticism on the bases. And this is a guy that they really need to count on Brady Reynolds, who swings and misses. Reynolds has been dealing with a hand wrist issue. They've done testing on it. There's nothing broken. There's no need for time off for an MRI. It's just day to day. And so the lineup came out late for Stanford as they waited for him to hit on the field. And it gave him the A-OK. And he sends it back through the middle, a base hit. Marshall stop at second, and Stanford has the first two aboard here in the second. Stanford this season, you can see some of their numbers. They have the fewest plate appearances with men in scoring position in the ACC.
You got to think here that Tom is going to go ahead and put that bunt down. But Stanford right now, they need to start playing a little bit of small ball, getting guys into scoring position. First and second, down by 3. Put a bunt down, a base hit can get you right back into this ball game.
He is bunting, and he takes low, 1-0. Som has been scuffling offensively. He had a great fall and then was in the cleanup spot for a good chunk of the season for Stanford. Now down into the 7th hole. They need to get at least one here, it feels like, Gabby, just to get the momentum stopped. It has been all Clemson so far in the first game and an inning of this series.
And the thing is, too, for Stanford, you know that Clemson is not stopping. They're going to continue to push. They're going to continue to try to get on base and continue to score runs. So Stanford, you have to be able to do the same thing.
The 2-0 and a good bunt, except it rolls foul. It's 2-1. It would have been a successful sacrifice had it stayed fair, but count now 2-1.
And first and second, too, what you're trying to do is bunt that ball to the third baseman. You want that third baseman to have to come get that baseball. That way he vacates third base, and you'll be able to get that bunt. If you push it over to first, there is a chance that Gaffney can break on it quickly and get the force out at third. So you stand back a little bit in the box, open up that area on that left side of the field.
So I'm bunting again, and he bunts it out in front of the plate. Darden's only play will be to first, and Gaffney just able to keep his foot on the bag for out number 1. So a sacrifice. And that'll bring up Court McDonald. Now, another reason why this Stanford offense has struggled with consistency is that they just have not had Court McDonald for the majority of the season. He injured his hamstring in the 4th game of the year against Cal State Fullerton. He has only played in 10 games this season. He was their leading hitter a year ago. He takes a strike, 0-1. Big spot for him to come through.
Yeah, got to put the ball in play here. Cannot strike out. Got to look for a pitch, something that you can drive, especially up the middle.
It's tied up there. It's 0-2. Clemson is conceding the run for the out. And now with 2 strikes, even Pano, the third baseman, backing up. Pitch. Called strike 3. Darden making quick work of the left-handed hitting McDonald, 2 outs.
And too good of a pitch. You cannot take this one. A fastball down in the zone. You have 2 strikes. He does choke up, but you've got to put that ball in play. You cannot let that umpire punch you out. Way too close.
It'll be up to Ethan Hott, the junior from Arizona, who was a part-time player a year ago. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Hott moved into the starting role with the injury to talented freshman Charlie Bates. And he lines one into left center field, a base hit. That'll get Stanford on the board. A 2-run single for Hott, and it's a 3-2 game.
Oh, boy, did Stanford need that. Hott coming through. Gets the base hit, line drive. Able to score both those runners, Marsh and Reynolds. Stanford now can take a big breath. Sometimes you just need that one big hit. It's a changeup. Hott stays on it. You can see Darden just not happy with where he threw that pitch. It was 85 miles an hour, not where he wanted it to be. Elevated it too much. And when a pitcher makes that mistake, got to make him pay, and Hott did that.
And Darden having pitch communication issues again, and Jimmy Bellinger, the pitching coach for Clemson, is going to give him a new device. That one seems to be working. So Ethan Hott's 2-run single has gotten Stanford on the board. Now the leading home run hitter for the Cardinal comes to the plate. Hott has a stolen base. Stanford does not run very much. I mean, just 9 stolen bases on the year as a team. But Hott, one of the more athletic guys in the lineup. And Darden keeping an eye on him, and Gaffney wants them to take a look.
They're going to. Right away. Gaffney looks over to the bench, tells Eric Bakich, we got to check that. I feel like we got him. And as a head coach, you got to trust your players. This is not big leagues where they have that review and you have somebody calling in and saying yes or no. You're going to have to trust in your players to see whether or not this call is going to get overturned.
Steve Sanders, Brian Miller, our second and third base umpires, going back underneath to take a look. Monitor to see whether or not Gaffney was right, and they picked off Hott. So first look at it.
That's going to be a view that we can't use because we're not able to see where the hand is. So on that view, that's not going to be an overturn. This will give us a better angle maybe of where he catches that ball. Now you can see that Gaffney is ahead of home plate. I mean, at first base, sorry. So he is ahead of it. So if he catches that ball and tags quick enough, he might be able to get that tag down before that hand gets on. But again, this view is not going to give us the best angle.
Trying to piece it together from all three.
I just don't see how this is going to get overturned.
I don't either. It's very difficult to see.
You have to be 100% to overturn the call.
You know, it felt like in real time that he had gotten his hand back just ahead of the tag, but Gaffney was emphatic.
Yeah, I think his hand is back before that tag is made.
You can kind of see the
tag,
red.
Like the knee, I'm guessing, and you can kind of see where that oven mitt is hitting the bag before the tag is applied. I have this one staying safe on the field.
Is it fitting that Hott is wearing an oven mitt?
I think everybody wears an oven mitt now.
You don't have to be hot to do that?
You don't have to be hot to do that. But he's not wearing an oven mitt.
Certainly not cooling off the Stanford offense, and we're going to get the call here. It will stand.
No oven mitt.
Oh.
It was batting gloves.
So he just has... So he's not afraid of being too hot. All right, Darden is ready to go again. 3-2, Clemson leading Stanford. Stanford with a tying run at first and 2 outs. And another throw over to first, and this time Hott back standing. There is action again in the Stanford bullpen. Christian Lim is beginning to get his work in. Again, we were expecting to see him around the 3rd inning. Torno Heron looked awfully good after coming in the 2nd. I wonder if they will, or at the end of the 1st, runner goes, pitches a ball. The throw from Gerald is not in time. It's a stolen base, and Stanford has the tying run now in scoring position here in the 2nd. Showing some good offensive life here in what has been a rough series so far for the Cardinal.
Again, sometimes it just takes one hit. and a big hit, a 2-out hit, especially from the bottom of the lineup, to all of a sudden get some spark going in that dugout.
There's a strike. It's 1-1. Haskins has been a key member of the Stanford program for 4 years. A walk-off hit in the regional against Texas State 3 years ago. If that one misses outside, it's 2-1.
Gerald, right away, really good play there to be able to just catch that ball. And as soon as he gets up, looks at Darden like, all right, come on now. Stay with me here.
Darden's 2-1. Swinging a foul at the plate. Count 2-2.
I'll tell you this, too. I think Gerald needs to get a new chest protector. Looks like a tiger got to that one. I think he's ripped up all over the place.
The 2-2. Haskins into right center field, and that'll get down and tie the game. A 2-out RBI single for Trevor Haskins, and we're even at 3.
Boy, what a great answer back for Stanford. Being down 3-0. All of a sudden, they get Marsh up with the base hit, Reynolds with the base hit. After 2 outs, 2 back-to-back 2-out base hits. Haskins stays on this pitch, doesn't try to do too much with it, stays inside of it, drives it the opposite way for the base hit. And all of a sudden, we got ourselves a new ball game.
Timo Becerra swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Wentworth, the right fielder, staggering, and he can't make the play. Haskins never stopped running, and Stanford's going to take the lead.
Wow, how things have changed. And again, it started with Ethan hot and that huge 2-out hit. This ball gets hit up into the air. The wind is blowing to the right. And right there, Wentworth is saying, I don't see it. I don't see it. Finally is able to see the baseball, but it's too late at that point. Misplays it, that ball gets down. But you have to really look at what Haskins did. Haskins is running. All of a sudden, he thinks that it's going to be caught, but he did take a hard 90 first, started to relax, and is able to turn it back on and score. And all of a sudden, Stanford has its first lead of the day, and the first lead over Clemson since yesterday.
Jimmy Billinger, the pitching coach, out on the mound and having some words with his infield there. Boy, this has been a very un-Clemson inning, and it's a chance for a bigger one as you see the wind blowing out to right field and the slugging Rintaro Sasaki coming to the plate.
There's just a different feel in that Stanford dugout. And you can see it. All of a sudden, everybody's head's up now. Nothing's down. Shoulders are up. Everybody's being aggressive. Everybody's talking.
Sasaki takes a ball low, 1-0. Sasaki in a 6 for 45 with no extra base hits. So he is due. Takes inside, and the count 2-0 to the talented freshman. Boy, it's amazing. You nailed it, Gabby. The body language just changed for the Stanford players. In the dirt, it's 3-0.
And what it looks like, too, is that Darden all of a sudden has kind of lost his command. He's kind of feeling it a little bit. Throwing a bunch of pitches in this inning.
3-0 the count to Rintaro. One strike, it's 3-1. Sasaki hangs in against lefties pretty well. A Fouls it off his instep, and the count goes full.
Yeah, same exact pitch that he got in his first AB that kind of jammed him up. And it's that fastball that rides in to a lefty.
It has been a long inning for Darden. 27 pitches with this next one, twice as many as he had in the first. And he walks Sasaki, and the inning continues. And the ninth man to come to the plate is the cleanup man, Jimmy Nadai. Look at that difference between last night. Now, Aiden Canuck, in fairness, was fabulous last night for Clemson, but Stanford really putting it to Clemson right now, and Stanford with a chance for an even bigger inning. All 4 runs have scored with 2 outs, and Nadai, second on the team at homers, takes a strike, 0-1. The Australian-born second baseman who was introduced to baseball when he moved to Atlanta in 2010 is behind 0-2. I don't want to put too fine a point on this, Gabby, but this feels like maybe the biggest pitch of the evening so far. Takes low, it's 1-2.
Yeah, right now for Clemson, just trying to get out of this inning. For Stanford, though, this is exactly what Esker needed. He needed to see that fight in his team that he hasn't really seen. He hasn't been seeing that fight. And they're finally showing it in this inning.
1-2. That one to the screen, and the runners will move up to second and third.
It's the slider. Oh, you got to be able to get that. That should be a pass ball.
It is.
Got to be able to get that baseball. Looks like he was trying to steal a strike rather than just catching that pitch.
2-2 the count to Nadai. The pitch. Foul back. Darden's pitch count continuing to climb in this inning. Two and two. And it hit him. And hit Nadai on the left arm, and the bases are loaded. I mean, Ethan Darden was one pitch away from getting out of this inning. And Clemson with action as Joe Allen starts to get loose in their bullpen.
34 pitches so far in this inning for Darden, and you're right, he was one pitch away. Hot came up clutch for Stanford. Boy, it just kind of opened up the floodgates.
And here's Tatum Marsh, who homered yesterday. The first pitch is down low, 1-0. He singled and scored to start this inning. The 10th man to come to the plate. Stanford with a chance to take control of this game early. The 1-0. A strike, it's 1-1. The wind has really picked up towards right field. And that's where Marsh homered yesterday.
That wind's going to be blowing in from left and blowing across to right.
Lined into left field, a base hit. 1 run will score. Sasaki hits the brakes at third. RBI single for Marsh. His second hit of the inning, and it's 5-3 Stanford. Tatum Marsh continues to impress for the Cardinal.
And another 2-out base hit. It's the freshman coming through again. He's the one that started off this inning with a base hit. And he is the one It's going to end the night, it looks like, for Ethan Darden.
Eric Bakich to the mound. A stunning turn of events here. 2 outs, runners at second and third. And Stanford has now played at 5. And they have the bases loaded as Darden can't make it out of the second tonight. We'll tell you about the new pitcher in a moment. It's 5-3 Stanford in the second. And thank you. That's Davis, the son of Ben Davis, the former #1 draft pick of the Philadelphia Phillies. Their current broadcaster has had a tremendous year for Louisville. And there you see the numbers on Ethan Darden. He's responsible for the 3 runners. This has escalated quickly here in the second inning for Stanford. And you see the junior right-hander from New Hampshire, Joe Allen, is on.
Yeah, for Joe Allen, just trying to really just stop this bleeding right now that Stanford has been able to kind of produce, and getting guys on base by hit by pitch, by free passes. Becerra being able to get on by the error by Wentworth. So for Joe Allen, he's going to utilize a cutter slider combo mix. Does have a fastball that he'll throw in the 87 to 90 range, but a lot of cutters. He'll throw it about 72% of the time.
Bases loaded, Brady Reynolds at the plate. 7 homers on the year for the DH. He had a single earlier in this inning and scored. First pitch, checks and takes low, 1-0. No swing, saying Brian Miller on the appeal. Reynolds swings and misses to the breaking ball. It's 1-1. The pitch. Reynolds fouls it off his right foot and visibly uncomfortable after that. It's 1-2.
This is the worst feeling. Right on that ankle. I don't care what kind of protection you have. You're hitting that ball 100 miles an hour into that ankle. You're going to feel it. 1-2
the count to Reynolds. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Allen strikes him out, and Stanford leaves him loaded. But they score 5 times with 2 outs and have their first lead of this series through 1.5. It's 5-3 Stanford. Beautiful, little bit cool night here in Clemson, South Carolina. As the Clemson faithful fill up a park that has been the top draw in the ACC was last year. And Eric Bakich in his 3rd year as their head coach. You see what he has done since taking over before the 2022 season. An ACC tournament championship, a super regional appearance before the 23 season. And the number 4 Clemson Tigers have bigger hopes as they look to try and get back to Omaha. 8-9-1 due for them here in the second. Now trailing 5-3. Torno Heron back to work. Josh Pino squares and takes high, 1-0.
Just kind of what we expected to, with O'Haron coming back in to try to finish off this inning. That's what I would have to think before they go ahead and think about bringing in Christian Lim. Even though he was warming up, it didn't look like he was warming up to be ready to come in.
Pino down the line and left, and that one will one hop against the fence. A leadoff double for the Clemson third baseman to start the second.
And that's exactly what Clemson needed, especially after that long second inning where Stanford batted around. First guy getting on is going to be key. Gets that sinker in on the hands, pulls those hands tight and close to the body. Hits his ball 107 miles an hour off the bat to left field. We talked about the wind, too. That wind's going to be blowing in from left out to right. That ball was just a straight line drive. One hop in the fence.
Andrew Chufo, the shortstop, hits. There you see Christian Lim. Gabby was just talking about is you would think he will get the third. Chufo squares to bunt, bunts it out in front of the plate. Heron's throw, not in time. I think Stanford's going to look at this one, but Chufo didn't take anything for granted.
No, Chufo didn't. That was a great bunt by Chufo, but by just me looking at it, it looked like they got him.
Stanford is, in fact, going to challenge, so our second challenge of the night. Clemson lost the challenge earlier, and Ryan Miller and Steve Sanders getting a little cardio in as they head in underneath. Look at this one. So did you see Chufo go just like that much? Yeah. I wonder if he was saying, I think they got me by that much, or
I was safe by that much.
Safe by that much. He's putting on the oven mitt. This should give us a great look.
Oh boy,
wow.
He's safe.
He got to the front of the back.
And he was right. It was by that much.
Just there ahead of the throw.
And he was right. Look at where he said, as soon as that ball was, his foot was where that ball was, he said, I beat it by that much. And I will tell you this, partner, we're sitting up here watching the game. It looked like the ball beat him. That looked to me like a great call. I have him safe as well.
Ryan Clark, the first base umpire, with a tremendous call. I mean, that's just good work. Going to wait for the umpires to come out here and let us know. Wow. It did not take them very long, but boy, that was a bang-bang play, and Chufo really hustling, and he is safe. So the tying runs are aboard with nobody out for Clemson here in the second. Both teams taking haymakers so far.
And we talked about, too, this Clemson team. They are relentless. And that's why that was a huge inning for Stanford, putting up 5 runs in that second inning, because you knew that Clemson was not going to just give in and give up.
But now Aaron's got his hands full because it's the top of the order, and you have Dominic Listy, who just grinds out at bats. Outside a ball, 1-0. Listy this season, in about 150 plate appearances, has walked 39 times. And he's been hit by a pitch 17 more.
Well, he's not afraid to get in there. You see where he is in that box. He is on that white chalk. He crowds the plate. He is not afraid to get hit. Just like he said, he's obsessed with getting on first. One way or another, he wants to get on there.
The 2-0. Listy takes outside. It's 3-0.
It's tough for a pitcher, too, when they're on the mound and they see a guy like Listy just crowding the plate. That's going to shrink that strike zone in their eyes.
3-0 to the Chicago native. Takes a strike. It's 3-1. Listy, a former Division III player. He's digging out quite a hole there.
There's no white line in the back now.
Chufo bluffs going, and there's a strike at the count full. So Listy was taking 2, trying to get another base runner with Cam Canarella in the on-deck circle. 5-3 Stanford, but Clemson already threatening in the second.
Yeah, Listy choking up on the bat as well. You can see about 2 inches off that bat knob.
In the air, shallow center, racing in, hot, can't get it, it's a base hit. Racing home to score is Pato. It's a 5-4 game.
The answer back for Clemson. This ball off Listy, we talked about him choking up on that bat. It's going to have a little bit more bat control, especially on a pitch that's 94 miles an hour. Hott's playing a deep center. This ball gets hit. Remember, too, there's that wind that's going to be knocking that ball down. Nothing Hott can do. He was rushing in. He was in the right frame of mind. That ball just gets knocked down and gets in there.
I mean, that was just like a loft wedge. I know it's Masters weekend, and they've been doing the golf bits here, but there are plenty of us who would be jealous to be able to float one out there like that. And here is Cam Canarella, the star center fielder, with the tying and go-ahead runs on. Takes outside 1-0. It's only the second inning, but it feels like so much has transpired already in this game. Probably because it has. So much has transpired in this game. The 1-0. Outside, 2-0 to Canarella.
And that's why this team is so tough. They just do not expand the zone. Listy, Canarella, you've got to throw that ball in that strike zone or they are not swinging.
2-0 the count. The pitch. A strike. Hit the knees. It's 2-1. Another reliever getting loose ahead of Lim. That's Ty Uber. Now remember, as you mentioned, Lim was getting up. My guess is they don't want him to start with a dirty inning. They want him to start clean, right?
They want him to start clean, and the way that O'Haron threw the ball last inning, they were hoping to at least do what they wanted to do, which was get to that third inning.
3-1 now the count to Canarella. There's Christian Lim. He has started every Saturday this season before today, and he is still expected to provide the bulk of the innings for Stanford, coming off his best start of the year. 3-1. Canarella takes ball 4. The bases are loaded with nobody out. And Jared Purify will be the hitter. Canarella is a look at ball 4.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. These are very good pitches that O'Haron threw. Even the one before that, very, very close. But O'Haron kind of showing some emotion on the mound. You don't want to do that with an umpire because he's not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. If he feels like it's a 50-50, it's going to go the other way. So you got to try to stay composed on the mound. I know that it's hard.
Infield playing about halfway. Remember yesterday with Listy up in a similar situation, albeit with one out, Sasaki was playing deep. Now he's moved in a little bit. But with the right-hander up.
Yeah, the right-hander's up, though, and he started to retreat back. You would think that he would take another step or two. There he comes.
There's a strike.
He should be staying right close to that runner, especially with a righty.
Haskins is backed up a little bit at third. It looks like they're playing for 2. He's going to be about even with the bag at third base. And Purify chops it foul, third base side. Count 0-2. Purify a strikeout victim his first trip.
Purify's done good, too, with runners in scoring position this season, hitting .294. Finds himself in a hole in an 0-2 spot. Still looking for something that he can drive.
The 0-2. Outside of the breaking ball, it's 1-2.
I'm Purified too. I'll just be sitting fastball in this moment. O'Haron has a good one, 94, 95 miles an hour. That slider has been a little bit inconsistent with being able to throw that one for a strike.
On the ground to short, that could be 2. Becerra to second for 1. On to first, and bobbled by Sasaki on the one-out throw. A run scores to tie the game, and Stanford only gets one out on what looked like a tailor-made double play ball.
And again, it's the Stanford defense. And coming into this ballgame, they are a good defensive team. But this was just like you say, it was a tailor-made double play. Becerra to Nadai. Nadai just throwing that. It was a long one-hopper. You would hope that Sasaki would be able to come up with that long one-hop pick. Wasn't one of those tough picks.
O'Haron saying, wake up, looking at Jimmy Nadai, who made that throw. O'Haron just gathered the entire infield on the mound, told everybody to come together. He's getting into the face of all of his infielders, trying to lead them. The frustration with Stanford, they are trying to will their way out of it.
And it looks like they're trying to just kind of calm him down as well. Like, hey, okay, let's take a deep breath here. Let's calm down a little bit. Understandable. You saw it in yesterday's ballgame. A lot of mistakes early on. but there's a way of doing something too. You got to be able to calm down and let your emotions just relax.
He had a big smile on his face at the end there, so I mean, it just feels like he felt like he needed to get everybody together. You know, it felt like there was like a leadership moment. I don't know that I've ever seen a pitcher do that, saying, hey, get everybody in here, let's go. Colin Priest is the hitter. It's 5-5. Priest, a 3-run homer his first trip. Takes a strike, 0-1. Here's what he did. Look at this after the play. O'Haron getting everyone together on the mound. And then an ultimate let's go speech. A strike to Priest. It's 0-2. Certainly seems like O'Haron has responded.
Well, listen, if you're going to call out the guys and you're going to bring them to you, better get on that mound and throw a bunch of strikes and get things going here. But again, just one pitch away and get out of this inning.
Fouled away by Priest. Tied up with that fastball. O'Haron looking at Purify. Runner bluffs going, and Priest lines that one to right and down the line, a base hit. One run is home. Purify to third. He'll get the breaks. RBI double for Colin Priest. He's knocked in 4, and Clemson reclaims the lead 6-5.
Well, what a day for Colin Priest. It's only been 2 innings. 3-run shot in that first inning and a double here. And Clemson didn't take long to get back on top and regain the lead. It's a changeup, but it's left up in the zone. A hanging changeup, it's just going to tumble. Colin Priest gets out and around it, hits it to that right field line. And it looks like Clemson is not done yet.
Thomas Eager on his way to the mound, and with the right-hander Uber getting loose, you wonder if this is going to be it for O'Haron. Stanford's plan: get 2 innings from Ryan Speciak and turn things over to Christian Lim and hopefully get the ball to a relief ace, Aiden Keenan. There's Lim. He still hasn't appeared. Stanford is on its 3rd pitcher of the night. It's Ty Uber coming in with Clemson leading by a run. Eric Package. A little love for Colin Priest. The sophomore has hammered a pair of changeups tonight, a homer, a double, 4 knocked in. This is just in the 2nd inning. We've had a full ball game, and there's one out in the bottom of the 2nd.
I mean, what a game so far. We've had a full game in 2 innings, it seems like. Stanford finally coming out, 5 runs with 2 outs, doing everything that they can. Just the pitching could not hold it. But we talked about this offense. It's a good one, and they're hoping that Ty Uber could come in and just shut the door. He's 1-1 on the season with a 3.27 ERA. It's a good fastball. He has a little bit of a cutter slider mix. Going to need to spot that fastball, especially early. It's 90-93, but we have seen some of these pitchers today throwing the ball a little bit harder than what they're used to.
Luke Gaffney doubled the other way his first trip, and he sends one over the head of a leaping Sasaki for a base hit. A run scores. Priest gets the stop sign at third. 7-5 Clemson.
Gaffney did not hesitate at all. Was up there looking for a good pitch to hit. Gets a fastball. Hits it the opposite way, just like he did in his last at-bat when he hit that double.
Terrell fouled out to first his first trip. He's been the hot home run hitter for this Clemson team. But we talked yesterday about how Clemson's power hadn't shown up yet this season. They have been outstanding so far tonight. 4 extra base hits already, and we're not even out of the second. And Gerald hammers it foul. 0-1.
And just being aggressive. We're used to seeing this Clemson team working counts, working pitchers, making pitchers' pitch count go up. Right now, they're in aggressive mode. They're swinging it.
0-1. Fouled away. It's 0-2. Thank our friends at the Cajun Cafe, who they didn't know we were going to be best friends until today, but they did send us up some food. There they are.
Oh, it smells
smoked chicken.
Good too.
We're going to save the discussion on it, but it smells so good in this booth right now. Carroll hammers it foul. I was told that the dream was to be invited to the Cajun Cafe or have some food, right? And as we have witnessed from my gluttonous ways so far this weekend, barbecue is my love language. And so thank you to the folks of the Cajun Cafe for Kimberly and company for bringing stuff up to us. Boy, it's going to get quiet in here real soon. Gerald tried to check up. He went around. He did not like that. Eric Bakich is furious at Brandon Henson. He is screaming at him from the on-deck circle.
And here's the reason why I think Bakich is really mad, because he didn't call it right away. He hesitated, then stopped, and then said that he went. You've got to then check with your first base umpire if you're not 100% sure. It's not. I don't think he went at all. This one, you've got to be able to check with that first base umpire. That's why he's there.
2 outs for Wentworth. The 9th man to bat in the inning for Clemson takes inside 1-0. 7-5, Tigers lead. And that little arguing has put an extra buzz into the crowd now. Wentworth trying to check, he did. You can hear the crowd a little bit more appreciative of Brian Miller's call. And the count 2-0.
I've never been one to like home plate umpires calling check swings unless it's completely obvious.
3-0.
It's just so hard, right? You got to call balls and strikes. You're seeing where pitches are. You have your umpires to check. Use them. For me, just go ahead. Hey, point real quick, yes or no, and be done with it.
3-0 the count to Wentworth. Takes a strike. It was an emphatic strike one call. Not a whole lot of new friends in purple and orange right now for Brandon Henson. Upstairs, ball 4, Wentworth walks, and Pano will hit. He started the inning with a double.
Well, just like Stanford, Clemson hits around in the second inning.
Stanford sent 11 to the plate in the top of the inning. Pano will be the 10th man to bat here. Takes a breaking ball inside. It's 1-0. Huber needs to get out of this inning. Clemson left the bases loaded in the first. And now Pano's ahead 2-0. So Stanford was going to have an opener. They're 3 pitchers in. They haven't gotten their bulk guy.
This is not how it was supposed to be written up for Stanford and for Esker.
Pino in the air to right, down the line. Marsh racing after it, but it's out of play. 2-1.
You hit anything down that right field line and it's up in the air, it's going to go foul. That wind's howling down that right field line.
I mean, it really feels like it. There's Christian Lim, who, again, had started every Saturday this year. Stanford trying to do something different, trying to break up a 10-game losing streak. And Lim's still available. That went inside, and a count 3-1. They had gotten loose earlier, but their plan was to get him in the 3rd inning. They wanted to stick to that plan, right? It was, we'll go to the opener, we'll go to Lim at that time. And so far, the only part that they've stuck to is Lim hasn't pitched in the first 2 innings. Because they've had to go to the bullpen as Pino draws a bases-loaded walk, and now it's 8-5 Clemson. Here comes Chufo, who had one of the key moments in this inning. He laid down a bunt trying to get Josh Pino to 3rd and ended up beating it out at 1st. Started to get things spinning against Stanford. Chufo trying to turn this lineup over yet again. Tapper out in front of the plate. Som has it, throws to first low, and a nice play by Sasaki to end the inning. Clemson leaves them loaded, but they score 5 times. We've played 2. Clemson 8, Stanford 5. Clemson with an 8-5 lead over Stanford as we start the top of the 3rd inning. It has been a rough day so far for Stanford pitching, and Ty Huber the latest to show his frustration. Dave Esker, the head coach of the Cardinal, they are trying anything to get this right. A 10-game conference losing streak.
This is not what he was thinking coming into this game, trying to change things up, trying to use an opener, get a couple of innings in. Just did not work out that way.
Christian Lim's getting loose as Charlie Som fouls the first pitch back from Joe Allen. I think if you had told Dave Esker, hey, you're going to chase Ethan Darden in the 2nd, he would have felt pretty good about what was going on. I don't think he could have anticipated using 3 relievers to cover the first 2 innings ahead of Lim.
No. And then all of a sudden you start now to second guess yourself, because you say, if I would have started maybe Lim, we wouldn't be in this situation and maybe we'll have a 5-0 lead. But it's easy to say that now.
Som pops it up. Left side, Pino, the 3rd baseman, dancing with the wind, makes the catch for out number 1.
That wind is creating havoc right now. As soon as that ball goes up in the air, it is moving a ton. We saw it last inning with Wentworth, where that ball went up into the air, started going all over the place. Ball ends up getting down. They gave him an error. But you just saw it there. Pino having to really fight the wind.
Winds gusting up to 21 miles an hour tonight, and it feels like it is, as McDonald grounds out on the first pitch, 2 outs, it feels like it has been a consistently strong breeze out to right center right now. In fact, it's getting a little chilly in our booth.
Just eat that rice and you're not going to be chilly anymore.
See, really,
it's got some kick to it.
I mean, you can see the Cajun Cafe there. Our dream would be for the wind blowing in from the right field corner to the press box.
Oh, you can still smell it.
It's because it's sitting right in front of us. Ethan Hott had a big 2-out, 2-run single in the Stanford 2nd bet. The first RBI hit of a 5-run, 2-out rally. A strike from Joe Allen. It's 1-1. Allen came in to relieve Ethan Darden, and he has settled this game down so far, trying to put up a shutdown inning. Nice play by Purify, giving ground a high throw, and Hott will reach. Boy, that was a tough ball for Purify to read, Gabby.
Yeah, that's a very tough ball, because the thing was that ball was hit off the end of the bat, and Purify thinking that ball was going to be coming in harder than it actually was. So he has to play this ball back. He makes the play, and it's just that overthrow, throws it up in the air. He didn't set that back leg down and get on top of that baseball. Elbow drops a little bit right here on that back leg. Just drops that elbow just enough. They're going to give that an error.
Yeah, that seems like a tough error to me, but
it's a tough error, but I think it is an error.
Perhaps I'm more forgiving as Trevor Haskins hammers one to left, deep, back, gone. It's a one-run game. Trevor Haskins, the leading home run hitter for the Cardinal with his 10th of the year, and it's 8-7. Dave Esker told us this week Haskins is an ambush hitter. That was an ambush.
Oh, he sure did ambush. How about his night so far? 3 hits in the first 3 innings. Gets a cutter, stays down in the zone, and just lift off to left field, 105 miles an hour, off the bat, cutting through that wind.
7 2-out runs for Stanford, and they're back within a run.
What a crazy game of baseball.
Timo Becerra 0 for 2. He reached on an error by the right fielder Wentworth, and he's behind in the count, 0-2.
Trevor Haskins 3 for 3 in the first 3 innings, a triple away from the cycle.
1-2 the count to Becerra. That's a pretty good first 3 innings. We still got the tough one to get to.
I mean, definitely the tough one for me.
Outside, it's 2-2. The dimensions here at Doug Kingsmore are fairly cozy.
You're going to have to tuck that one down that right field line and then get on your horse and start running if you want that triple.
Yeah, and hope that it kicks into foul territory. Becerra just foul past the diving Pano, and Lim frustrated with himself that he couldn't clean it up off the mound. Christian Lim laughing about it. He's hearing it from some of the Stanford, or some of the Clemson fans, excuse me, that bullpen right around the fans in that new bullpen bar area. And the count is full. That was one of the changes this winter to Doug Kingsmore, and I'm sure that Lim is making a lot of new acquaintances over the course of the last few innings, getting loose. Becerra's run the count full. On the ground to short. Chufo to first. Just in time to get him, and the inning is over. Stanford gets a couple back on the Haskins homer. They're down a run through 2.5. We'll talk to Dave Esker next. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Stanford trailing Clemson 8-7, and we are joined now by the head coach of the Stanford Cardinal, Dave Esker. So far, the offense pretty resilient. 7 2-out runs. What are you seeing from the fight in your team right now?
Yeah, you know, they came out here to fight, for it after the performance yesterday. They knew they had to come out here with a different mindset and a little more fight to them, and they've done that. I'm proud of that.
Well, Coach, I have to ask you the question. You wanted to go out there and throw out the opener, having to use 3 guys so far until you could get to Lim, who's on the mound now.
Yeah.
What is it that you're going to need out of him?
Well, this is going exactly to plan. We figured if we could keep him under 9 in the first 2 innings and get Lim out there, then we'd be in a good spot to win. So I think it's pretty good coaching, if I say so myself.
You're awesome.
I mean, you just can't predict this game, can you?
No, you can't predict it, and you never predict that we'd be going through what we're going through. But you know what? Hey, one of my favorite lines is from Winston Churchill, and he says, "If you're going through hell, keep going."
That's good. We appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the night.
All right, thank you,
Great
Coach.
Dave Esker, the head coach at Stanford. I just love his demeanor.
He's great.
As a strike. I mean, what can you do at this point,
Right,
right? It
there's
didn't
nothing.
work.
It's one of those situations where you go, well, all right, let's kind of put that on the back burner.
But, we've seen this from other coaches, right?
Yeah.
As Christian Lim. We'll talk plenty about Lim here coming up, but I think back a couple weeks ago when Stanford went to Charlottesville and Brian O'Connor had called out his team's performance the week before. And we asked O'Connor a little bit about it, and he said, well, it didn't work. You're trying different things to figure out how to get the answers you feel like you need. And again, this Stanford team started 5-1 in ACC play, and they've lost 10 in a row. So, I mean, at this point, it's anything. I mean, if guys would switch jerseys, they would do it. If they could pull names out of a hat for the lineup, anything to make it work. Perhaps a bonfire with scouting reports. Who knows? Listing rips another one foul.
I will say this. When I was in AA playing, we were struggling for, a 5-game stretch, everybody with hitting. We just really couldn't get things going offensively. And before one of our road trips, after a game that we just finished having a rough one, everybody got their broken bats and we had a bonfire.
Tom Listy down on strikes. Well, let's talk a little bit about Christian Lim, who is in this game, the sophomore left-hander who has been waiting for this opportunity tonight, finally gets it. You see the numbers. He was Stanford's most consistent starter last year and apparently is already unhappy with some of his locations, but Lim is a really tenacious competitor and is coming off an excellent outing against Georgia Tech as Canarella sends it to center and Hott is there. 2 outs.
Yeah, coming off a really good outing. And again, really 2 quick outs here for Lim. It's a fastball, has a little cutter, slider, changeup mix. See a lot of fastball, changeup, sliders coming out of his hand. That fastball is going to be anywhere from 88 to 92 miles an hour. He can move it in and out against this really good Clemson lineup.
He's trying to get a shutdown inning here. Purify fouls the first pitch back. Purify 0 for 2. Reached a fielder's choice and knocked in a run his last time. We saw in the last half inning that Joe Allen was very close to shutting things down before the Purify throwing error. The subsequent 2-run homer from Haskins. So Lim trying to get the momentum back in Stanford's favor. Swing and a miss. Ooh, that was a good off-speed pitch.
It's a very good changeup. Right on that outside corner. Looks like a fastball the whole entire way. Just drops right off the plate. Really pretty pitch. So he goes right back to it.
The 1-2. Just missed. Tom thought he swung and he didn't.
No, I think he thought it was a strike.
Is that
and
what it was?
Yeah, I think Tom thought it was a strike right down the middle of the plate, and I thought it was too. And it definitely was right there. Drops it, and that's why he went to go tag.
Tag him, yeah. Good call. 2-2. There he gets him to chase in a 1-2-3 inning for Christian Lim. Clemson in order for the first time today, and a good finish to the third for Lim.
Yeah, it goes right back to the changeup to get that 1-2-3 inning that Stanford needed.
An eventful evening so far. As you get a quick recap of what's happened through the first 3. Stanford is on its 4th pitcher. And Eric Bakich's club, see Dave Esker there, is on to the right-hander Nathan Dvorsky, their 3rd. And Jack Crichton has taken over in right field for T.P. Wentworth. So with the lefty Lim now on the mound, they go to the righty Crichton, and you see Dvorsky in his 15th appearance of this season.
Yeah, just like you said, Stanford on 4 pitchers. Well, Clemson, they're on their 3rd. Dvorsky up at the mound. It's a good fastball, fastball, curveball, changeup mix. There's Jack Creighton, who's taken over for Wentworth.
And Dvorsky. Here's the first pitch to Rintaro. It's a strike, 0-1. Sasaki 0 for 1 with a walk. That one in the dirt, 1-1. Sasaki, the son of a high school coach in Japan. In 3 years in Japan, he had 140 home runs. That is a record for Japanese prep hitters. His dad, a very famous coach, who coached both Shohei Ohtani and Yusei Kikuchi.
He's got to put that on a plaque and put that on his office. 2 really good pitchers in the big leagues. One probably one of the best players to ever play the game of baseball.
2-2. Sasaki was the top prep player in Japan. He decided not to go into the NPB draft and instead wanted to pursue a collegiate career in the U.S. And he's down on strikes to start the Stanford 4th. You can read a lot more about Sasaki coming up on Tuesday. College baseball's next big thing. Rintaro Sasaki said in that piece, this journey is something he's in complete control of and hopes that it will lead to life in Major League Baseball. This life belongs to me, so I don't want others to decide it for me. It's very philosophical for a kid that's been in college for a year. That one misses outside to Jimmy Nadai, 1-0. Vintaro's received a ton of attention and has built an incredible relationship with his teammates. My understanding is especially with Nadai. Takes upstairs, it's 2-0. And I would have to think, while the experience of growing up in Japan and growing up in Australia are probably not all that similar, you are 2 players who have come from different countries, and there are differences in the cultures here as there are there, and I would have to think that that makes quick bonds.
Yeah, I agree. Coming over, being able to be a part of a group. Baseball team, you're a family. You're with each other 24/7.
3-1.
We had 2 about Rintaro Sasaki, too, really taking on the English language and not wanting to have an interpreter and wanting to go out there and talking with his teammates.
Up and in, ball 4 to Nadai. He reaches with 1 out in the 4th. I think that's one of the things that's so incredible about Sasaki is how quickly he has learned the English language. It's basically in the course of a year. I think back to your former teammate in Miami, Jose Fernandez, was there, right? And he was a guy who did not know English when he came to the U.S. and quickly learned it. Within a year, he was fluent, and it's amazing to me how, as I struggled with trying to understand my first language, how these young students who come over from another country can learn a second language so quickly. As Marsh rolls it foul. Tara's fighting it a little bit at the plate right now. The results haven't been great lately, but
yeah, I just think he's just putting a little bit too much pressure on himself. The at-bats haven't been terrible. Yesterday's ball game ends up walking twice, taking some really tough pitches.
That one clipped Marsh, and now Stanford's got a threat. They have the tying and go-ahead runs on here in the 4th with 1 out. Not a whole lot of complaining from Clemson on this, and
just right off the arm.
Brushing the biceps.
Change up. for him.
Eric Bakich in the Clemson dugout. Clemson's bullpen has been so good this year. You know that he's just trying to figure out how to piece it together until they can get to Lucas Malstead.
Well, and here's the other thing, too. You still got to get another game tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the last thing that you want to do is all of a sudden use 7 or 8 pitchers today.
See that they have been the top unit in preventing scoring and third in strikeouts and opponent's batting average. So they have been very good. And Bakich is going to come out to the mound. A long, slow walk out for the Clemson head coach. This has not been a game that has had a lot of flow to it on the mound. And already Drew Titsworth, who threw 4 1/3 innings in the midweek and who we talked to last night, we weren't sure he was going to be available until Sunday, but because of that extended outing, it does not seem like Bakich wants to mess around much longer before getting into his A relievers.
And that's the thing, too, with Bakich. He's looking at the way that this game is going. He needs somebody to come in and just have one of these couple shutdown innings. And he's not taking anything for granted. He knows that this Stanford team, what they were able to do in that second and third inning, he knows that they can swing the bat. He knows that they can put runs on the board.
And he's made the signal. He is going to the right-hander Titsworth. So this will be already the 4th pitcher of the night for Clemson, the 8th pitcher of this game overall. And we're 1 out in the top of the 4th. Clemson can clinch a series win with a win today. Stanford trying to force a rubber match, and they are threatening in the top of the 4th down a run. Promotional considerations paid for tonight for the ESPN broadcasters by the Cajun Cafe, the best smelling location in Clemson, South Carolina. And eat like you mean it, Gabby. They sent up for us tonight, and see if you can look in here. There is some smoked chicken. This is a bog, which is a low country food specialty. It's a rice dish.
It's got a
little
kick
bit like
to
a
it.
jambalaya.
Got a good kick.
And there's some fries, which are also delicious. So
Fries are very good Cajun-y.
this
fries.
was my dream, right? So like we went around today. We went around the Clemson campus. As a Midwest kid, I always thought these locations like Clemson, South Carolina were exotic. Wanted to be able to see them, and so to be able to come here and to have the folks at one of the legendary establishments provide us with cuisine. It's a pretty good night.
Well, they did tell us when we come to Clemson, we're going to eat good.
Yeah.
You know who else knows that? Drew Titsworth, who's on the mound right now. Well, he's been having a great year, 3-0 with a 3.27 ERA, 28 strikeouts. It's a good fastball. Has a little cut fastball to it too. He'll throw that ball in the inside part. It's going to be 92 to 95 miles an hour. Has a slider, throws a changeup as well.
He's trying to settle this game down with Brady Reynolds at the plate. Reynolds with 7 home runs on the year. He takes a strike. It's 1-1. Reynolds singled and struck out in the second inning. And Stanford sent 11 men to the plate in a 5-run frame. They're within a run here in the 4th. That one over the head of a leaping Gaffney down the right field line and towards the corner. It's going to tie the game. An RBI double for Brady Reynolds. And we're even at 8 as Marsh stops at third.
Boy, both these offenses today, relentless. They do not stop. What an offensive game. This is a fastball in. And Reynolds does a good job of just getting to that ball, hitting it to right field. An RBI double tying up this ball game.
And now Stanford in a position to be able to retake the lead with a little contact. Charlie Som 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. First pitch to the catcher outside of ball, 1-0. Som has been fighting it a little bit at the plate. The average down under 240. He was a guy that Stanford really felt like was going to hit in the middle of their order all season. Checks it, takes low, 2-0. We were talking to Dave Esker about him today, and he just has gotten into a spot where he cannot consistently drive the ball and hasn't been as consistent, certainly, as they expected. He said to get into the fall, he was the best hitter they had.
Yeah, they said he was the best hitter. There was the hardest contact. They had some high hopes, but all of a sudden just kind of lost it and hasn't been able to regain it. Hasn't been able to stay consistent at the plate, especially with the swing going through the zone.
He's ahead in the count 3-0 here as Gerald had trouble with that. And the guy struggling probably gets the take sign 3-0, right?
I mean, you'd be surprised.
He's taking, and it's 3-1.
I guarantee you what, he was hoping he wasn't taking on that one. Got a guy that has some good little run on that fastball, throws it on the outer half. Good pitch to drive. He's kind of got to try to look for the same pitch here.
Clemson back up the middle defensively. And he takes ball 4 outside, and the bases are loaded. So Titsworth has entered this game, and the first 2 have reached against him. And that'll bring up Court McDonald, a player that Stanford really would love to get going. And we're going to get an offensive conference here for Stanford. Titsworth threw 57 pitches in the midweek on Tuesday. Dave Esker gathering his offense together. You see, that was a huge part of their win over Gardner-Webb, where Clemson had a ton of traffic and could not really bust that game open. And Reed Garris is beginning to get loose. I think there were questions as to how much they'd be able to use Titworth today, but they wanted him in a big spot, and this is a big spot right now.
Looking at that offensive timeout, trying to figure out what was going on there and what could be called. Now you have that defense of Clemson kind of playing deep with 1 out. Gaffney's playing real deep, not really in double play depth.
First pitch to McDonald, taken down and in, 1-0.
One of the things that could have been said is, hey, let's let Titworth pitch, right? Let's go ahead and take a strike. Unless he throws you 1 pitch in 1 zone, we're going to really key in on the heart of the plate.
The 1-0, 1-1.
That's where a lefty wants it, down in the zone, middle part of the plate. Just swung underneath it.
Donald still getting his timing back after missing most of this season. He is a key bat for the Cardinal. Foul back, it's 1-2.
Gotta love the fight with Stanford today. We didn't see this fight yesterday. The at-bats weren't the same. It's a different ball club coming into this game today.
They've been standing toe-to-toe with the number 4 Clemson Tigers. Swing and a miss. Donald down on strikes, and it's a big second out for Titsworth.
This is 94 miles an hour, top of the zone. McDonald can't catch up to it.
2 outs for Ethan Hott. He delivered a 2-out, 2-run single as part of the 5-run Stanford second. That went outside, 1-0. His last at bat, he reached on a 2-out error from Jaron Purify. And then the next hitter, Trevor Haskins, brought Stanford within a run on the very next pitch with a 2-run homer. So he's been in the middle of everything. Count 1-1. Not playing center field because of the injury to Charlie Bates, but he's done a really nice job at the bottom of the Stanford lineup. He has taken this job and run with it. He fouls it back. It's 1-2.
Right now for Titsworth, too, just utilizing that fastball to get back into the count and ahead. It does have a nice little slider that he can start right on that outside corner after throwing so many fastballs.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 4th, 8-8 game. The 1-2. On the ground through the right side, a base hit. Stanford reclaims the lead. It's bobbled by Crichton, and the runner will go to third. A 2-run single for Ethan Hott. He's knocked in 4. It's 10-8 Cardinal.
Stay hot, Ethan Hott. There's no other way you could say it. From the 9 spot, really was the one that started that second inning with the big clutch 2-out single. And guess what he does here? Gets a fastball, drives it the other way. Another 2-out, 2 RBI single. Titsworth not happy with the placement of that fastball. Way too good of a pitch with 2 strikes.
When you're hot, you're hot. And Stanford has reclaimed the lead. Crichton charged with an error that allowed the runner to get to third, and Eric Bakich is coming out. And will he be going to Reed Garris here with now Clemson trailing by a pair? He will. The right-hander coming in. 10-8. Stanford leading Clemson. Clemson now on their 5th pitcher of the evening. Here's a look at the top 10 teams in the ACC in conference play right now. Clemson 10-3. Virginia splitting a doubleheader today with Pitt. They are at 8-9. See, Wake Forest, who started 5-1, is now down to 9-8 after they got knocked around by North Carolina each of the first 2 games of that series. North Carolina's offense had been scuffling.
Well, not the last 2 games against that Wake Forest team. But you just have to look at really 3 teams that are 4 teams. I'll get the 9-5. Everybody else really in that middle of it where things can change quickly.
Georgia Tech at 12-4, one of the really great stories this year. Danny Hall going to retire after the season. We were talking to Dave Esker about that Georgia Tech team, and he was really impressed with them last weekend. They went to Stanford and swept that series. And see Danny Hall, who announced his retirement at the end of the season a couple of weeks ago. Tremendous head coach, Georgia Tech. 3 men's college World Series appearances, including the runner-up in his first year. How's that for a way to start the job, right? You walk into a job with Jason Varitek and Nomar Garciaparra and Jay Payton. It helps, too. Pretty good players.
Pretty good players. Nice group to walk into.
We'll head to the mound here to take a look at Reed Garris, the right-hander, 3rd pitcher of the inning for Clemson.
I'll tell you what, I guarantee you that if you told Eric Bakich that he would be on his 5th pitcher and we're only in the 4th inning, he would have said, no, this can't be. But boy, he is, and he's using his big boys too. Reed Garris, who's been having a great year.
In the 3rd, this was Trevor Haskins' 10th of the year. It pulled Stanford within a run. And part of this Stanford offense punching back tonight. So Garris going to try and keep him in the ballpark this evening. We have had a wild one so far. First pitch to Haskins, down low, 1-0.
And again, Haskins could hit for the cycle if he hits a triple, and he would do it in the first 4 innings of a game. A double in the first, a single in the second, a 2-run homer in the 3rd, and now he's up again in the 4th.
Takes low, it's 2-0. Garris has become one of the more trusted members of this Clemson bullpen. Back in 2022, Reed Garris was the 3rd-string catcher on this Clemson team. Ended up having to play a bunch late in the season. He became a really good relief pitcher, including being on the Stopper of the Year watch list going into the season a year ago. ERA just 1. And that one on the ground to second. Purify stays with it. Underhands to Chufo covering. And the inning is over. But Stanford scores 3 times, and they've reclaimed the lead. We head to the bottom of the 4th. 10-8 Stanford. This is a new tradition here at Stanford. Before the bottom of the fourth inning, players from the Clemson bench come into the stands and shake the hands of military members, servicemen and women who have served our country. It's an idea that Eric Bakich took from the Savannah Bananas, who's built a great relationship with the man in the yellow tuxedo, Jesse Cole. And Clemson has done this now all season long. What a really cool tribute and a great way. We were talking about this morning, Gabby. Just a cool way to honor the veterans that's a little bit different than the way most others have. We've seen plenty of times with veterans get stand up, they get honored in the stadium, there's nice applause, but to have the team go up there, and especially with as important ROTC history as at Clemson, it's a really nice touch.
It really is. I love it. I love the players coming up into the stands, shaking the hands of the veterans. I think the veterans appreciate it as well, and I think for Bakich, starting that up here is something that other teams will look at, and I think they're going to start to utilize it as well, and I think they should.
Bakich has talked a little bit about the entertainment aspect of baseball. I shouldn't say a little bit. He has talked a lot about how baseball is entertainment and how they feel like they are in the memory-making business. Now, this is certainly something that's memorable, I think, not just for fans who are watching as a cool thing to do, but for those veterans in attendance as Priest flies out to start the fourth. But he's built this incredible relationship with the Savannah Bananas, and the Savannah Bananas are heading to Death Valley in 2 weeks to play at Memorial Stadium. This is what Clemson's football stadium looks like right now. And yes, it is 190 feet to left field down the line. I talked to Jesse Cole this week, who owns the Savannah Bananas, and he was like, yeah, it's a little short. He's like, but it might be fun. I don't know.
I mean, we might see the same type of power output in these first 4 innings
right.
that the Savannah Bananas are going to have in that ballpark or in that football stadium in Death Valley.
Yeah,
we went there and saw it. It was really cool.
Yeah, we went over this afternoon. It was really neat. That one lined down the left field line. It's going to be a base hit for Gaffney. A big turn at first. And he'll hang on there. But we went over this afternoon and we saw it. I know that, and from talking to Jesse Cole this week, that they have some surprises planned. I asked him, he said, how are you going to incorporate Howard's Rock into the game? He said, I can't tell you everything, but there are going to be some surprises there. It's a sellout of 80,000 people to see this. I mean, baseball, listen, it's not competitive baseball. It is more entertainment. Yeah, and I love that, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate that someone like Eric Bakich, who is all about wins and losses, also understands the entertainment aspect of it, right? How can we do things that will keep people coming back? How will we do things that can engage kids to ensure that they say when there's something going on, hey, can we go to the ball game tonight? Because their parents are going to do it. And that relationship between Cole and Bakich has become really special. There's a strike. It's 0-2. Bakich has even used the banana ball, the kind of trick plays that they do in their practices going back to his days in Michigan. I mean, this is one of the things they have. The marketing team all dressed up as the Masters caddies this week. On the ground to short, that could be 2. Second for 1, on to first. And Christian Lim, 2 scoreless innings for Stanford. We will talk to one of the Clemson stars from yesterday next. Stanford leads 10-8 at the end of 4. Last night, Aiden Canuck was dominant for Clemson. 6 innings of 2-hit, 1-run ball as they won the opener by run rule over Stanford 11-1. And we are very pleased to be joined now by the sophomore Friday starter for the Clemson Tigers, Aiden Canuck. Aiden, Mike Farron, Gabby Sanchez, thank you for joining us. What was your assessment of your performance last night?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing good.
How did you assess your performance last night?
I I would say I felt pretty good. I'm just glad I was able to get to the 7th inning. Just having a quality start, getting to the 7th was, my goal for every outing. Only giving up 1 run, just giving my offense a chance to, score some runs. So I would say it was a successful start, being able to get the win.
Aiden, I was raving about the changeup. And then we hear that you work a lot on your pitches and being able to finger manipulate, the baseball. How long did it take you to develop the changeup that you were throwing in yesterday's ball game?
I would say I started throwing it my freshman year of high school, so probably took about a couple years, 2 years to really get it down. But yeah, started throwing it my freshman year, high school.
How has it changed, or has it changed at all over the last 6 years?
I would say I keep the same cues throwing it. When it gets off, I'm just going back to those same little cues that I learned from my pitching coach back when I was first learning it. So I wouldn't say it changed too much.
Mentality on the mound, when you're on the mound and you're facing a team, let's say like yesterday's game, Stanford, what's the first key that comes to mind that you want to do when you're on that mound?
Definitely establish the fastball early, because all the off speed plays off the fastball. So if I can establish that fastball early, everything else will just play so much better.
Now, Aiden, we were talking to Eric Bakich earlier this week, your head coach, and one of the things that he singled out was Spencer Strider came back to campus to speak to you guys. And he said that there were so many things that were similar about the way you approach the game to the way Strider does. What was that experience like, and what were some of the things that you learned from those conversations when he came back?
I would say that definitely all mental game. When you're out on the mound and, throughout the week, you're going to be practicing a bunch of different things. But when you step on that mound, just having that mentality, there we go, Reed. Just having that same mentality, to, just attack the strike zone and just focus on the batter and the glove. Because, at the end of the day, you're not going to be worried about pitch mechanics and stuff like that. Just being able to be consistent with your mindset will help you be consistent with your performance.
Now, one of the things that I noticed in yesterday's ball game, and it's something that's really cool, and I wish that you had it with you, your glove and the significance of it. Tell me a little bit about it. I know you don't have it with you. There's definitely a K on it, and it looked like there's some ice cream kind of on the fingers.
Yeah. It kind of started out as I just wanted my initials on the glove. And then, the creative team with Absolutely Ridiculous created that cool little logo. So it actually has my initials on it, AK, and then, just looking at it, it just looks like a backwards K. But, it's actually my initials if you look closely. So that was kind of the idea behind it.
I like that idea of you having the backwards K. That you prefer, like, getting somebody to look at that changeup batting at the bottom of the zone, or would you rather them chase it?
I always like when they chase it, but, a lot better feeling there. But, still a cool graphic on the glove.
Now, let's get off of baseball just a little bit. Who's the guy that you hang out with when you're not here at the ballpark?
Guy that I hang out with when I'm not at the ballpark, I would say, I have 4 roommates. So Luke Brown, Chance Fitzgerald, Hideki Prather, and Justin Legurnick. So I'm always hanging around those guys, whether it's playing MLB The Show, going golfing. I would say those are the guys I'm hanging out with the most.
All right, who's the best golfer? Come on.
He's trying really hard not to say himself. You can. It's all right.
You're allowed to
You're
say
allowed
yourself.
Dude, you're an ace. You're allowed to say it.
I'm going to say myself.
All right, so what's the go-to in MLB The Show?
I just started playing, so, my team's not that good, but, we just play each other all the time in the room and stuff like that, but Chance is definitely the best at MLB The Show, I would say.
How did you just start playing MLB The Show? The team's been around your whole life.
No, I haven't just started playing.
Oh, you just started playing this season?
Just got the new season, so.
Okay.
Now, did you create yourself as a player?
No, not yet.
Do you think that they could create your changeup in the game? Because I've played it. I don't think there's a changeup like yours in the game.
I don't know, but that would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty sick if they did.
We need to get you in touch with the folks at San Diego Studios, see if we can get the Aiden Canuck changeup in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. That'd be sick.
That would be good. Hey, one of the things that we've been talking a lot about is the experience at Clemson. It seems like it is different for a lot of athletes because there is this kind of energy to everything. What's it been like for you, and what's it like knowing that there seems like a commitment to, hey, baseball is entertainment as in addition to being about winning?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Backett he's just built this program to just be out on the field and have fun. That's kind of the main goal. I mean, if you're out there having fun, playing loose, that's when you play the best, and it just makes it that much more fun. And, competing and all that stuff and winning games just makes it that much easier. So, getting to have fun on the baseball field as a number one priority, and being able to compete at this level, I think that's it right there.
Now I got to know, did you learn something by playing against the Savannah Bananas? Can you do the flips? Can you do any tricks?
Nah, no flips. I can't do any flips.
Any tricks on the mound that you want to incorporate into your game?
I want to try just crow hop and throw it as hard as I can. See what that would be like.
You don't think there would be a little bit of freak out maybe from the coaching staff? Have you tried that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
What was that like? Was it fun playing with them last fall?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was just pure fun. No pressure by any of the guys playing out there. The trick plays was awesome. So that's kind of where the foundation of just playing baseball is all about. Just going out there and playing loose. So that's kind of what they talked about. Going out there to begin with. It's all about having fun.
Who was the best dancer on your team?
You all saw that TikTok dance.
Yeah.
I would say either Deion Brown or T-Mac. Actually, T-Mac. T-Mac's the best dancer.
Really?
100%, yeah. Yeah, he's always dancing. You can see him in the dugout all the time.
Oh, almost had him. Quick feed from Garris there as he nearly picked off Nana. Yeah, but that was a lot of fun watching you guys go through that. And I don't know how much the pitchers do it, but it sounds like the banana ball, some of those fun things have been part of Clemson baseball practices too under Coach Backett.
Yeah, sometimes he just has us loosen up. I mean, I'll come out and watch the infielders. They'll just be doing trick plays between the legs. It's doing backflips in the outfield. But that's part of the fun Coach Backett brings to this program.
1-1's a strike. It's 1-2. Aiden, we really appreciate you joining us for this half inning. Thank you so much. We'll let you get back with your teammates. Also, we were admiring those jackets. Those are slick, man. Those are the nicest looking jackets I think any team has.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, keeping me warm right now.
It's a chilly night, so We'll go get warm. Congratulations on a great performance last night.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
You too. Aiden Canuck, the sophomore ace, and the perfect throw from Gerald that gunned down. Nana trying to steal will end the Stanford fifth. Halfway through this, and you can see the great defense from Gerald getting Nana. It's 10-8 Stanford. Couple fired up teams tonight, and you can see a lot has happened already as Stanford leads Clemson 10-8. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Christian Lim, who was going to be the bulk pitcher for Stanford tonight, is already out of the game after 2 scoreless innings. And he was really good, and Trevor Moore, one of the key relievers for Stanford, will take over here. This is not the way that Stanford drew it up overall, Gabby. They were going to go to an opener for 2 innings, then turn things over to Lim and hope that Lim could give them 4 to 5 innings to go to Aiden Keenan.
Yeah,
Curious what happened over the last 2 innings with Lim.
I'm very confused just because Lim was throwing the ball really well. And I'm trying to think if there was something maybe going on. Did something happen? I have no idea. It's something that we're going to have to definitely talk about because 19 pitches in 2 innings, I felt like, he could kind of go 4 or 5 at least and really take a bulk of this ball game.
He settled this game down for Stanford. Allowed them to take the lead, and now it's going to be up to Moore and company to try and hold this 2-run lead on the road. Again, if you're just joining us, Clemson, the top team in the ACC this season. Stanford started 5-1 in their first year in league play. They have lost 10 straight ACC games. Jack Crichton's first plate appearance. And he takes a strike, 0-1. Now there is a string of 3 straight righties here, and I don't know if that's part of the equation. Crichton did not start the game. T.P. Wentworth did against the right-handed relievers for Stanford, but as soon as Lim entered, he came in defensively. Crichton takes a strike. It's 1-2.
And Trevor Moore, fastball 90 to 93 miles an hour, has a slider, has a curveball that you just finished seeing there. It's a good 12 to 6er.
1-2. On the ground to the right side. To his left is Nada. He will throw him out. And the leadoff man gone into Clemson fifth. Well, next week's ACC Network featured matchup, the University of Virginia will head to Tallahassee to take on number 9 Florida State. Thursday, 7 Eastern, the start of a 3-game series at Dick Howser Stadium. Carl Ravitch, Chris Burke will be there with coverage on the ACC Network. That is going to be a fun series. Virginia splitting a doubleheader today with Pitt. Virginia's offense is starting to get going. You saw them last week, Gabby. It just, something has not quite clicked yet with that Virginia team, but it does feel like they're trending in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely trending in the right direction. I did have them last week, and NC State ended up walking them off, scoring, I believe it was 3 runs in that 9th inning. But Virginia did have the game.
Josh Pano in the air to deep left center field, and it's gone. Just to the right of the scoreboard, Pano a solo shot. And Clemson has cut the deficit to 1. It's 10-9. Home run number 7 for the third baseman. That was a poke.
My goodness. Josh Pano got all of that one. It was a fastball, left the bat at 105 miles an hour, went 422 feet, 3 inches.
Those 3 inches really make the biggest difference as Chufa takes the ball up and in. It is a game of inches, right? The wind has started to shift a little bit. It was blowing a little bit more towards center field. Now it's drifting back towards right center, but that ball was smashed. And so is that one from Schufo. And one hop the bottom of the fence. The shortstop racing for second. The throw not in time. And Clemson has the tying run in scoring position with 1 out.
And this is what started everything. Pano, head down on the baseball, gets the fastball, backside through it. Boy, this ball got hit an absolute ton.
Over the scoreboard. I think it went to the right of it, but that one cleared the scoreboard at Doug Kingsmore.
That ball was hammered.
And now the top of the order up with the tying run at scoring position. Here's Dominic Listy. Through the left side, base hit. Schufo to third. He will score, and we're tied at 10.
What a good piece of hitting by Dominic Listy. A guy who really has not gone up there to swing the bat early in counts. He's a guy that likes to take a lot of pitches, and this time goes up there right away, gets a pitch he can handle, drives it the opposite way to tie this ball game up. 10-10.
Christian Lim went just 2 innings for Stanford, and he was expected to be the bulk guy, and the right-handers, the Cardinals have just struggled tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to get Lim in. They were finally able to do it, and I thought Lim was throwing the ball extremely well. He had 2 strikeouts in the third when he came in, gave up a hit, but then got a double play in the fourth. It seemed like everything was rolling for him. I was a little confused with taking him out, especially since he was throwing the ball well.
Cam Cantarella's walked twice, the star for Clemson, as the go-ahead run at first here in the 5th. Outside, it's 1-1. Cantarella, a pair of doubles last night. Player that plays with so much fire, he is so calm in the batter's box. He takes the ball outside. It's 2-1. Stanford just searching for answers right now. Cantarella takes a strike. That was a good breaking ball. It's 2-2.
It's got a good one. It's a good 12-6, or a lot of break to it. There's no real pop out of the hand either. He's able to really get good extension on it.
Two. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase the high heater and a big strikeout for Moore.
Or it goes with the curveball first, and here it is. Takes it for a strike, and then just comes back with 93 up in the zone to get it past Cantarella. What a sequence.
2 outs for Purify, who's 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts tonight. Second baseman takes a breaking ball upstairs. 1-0. You mentioned that pop, right? Like that's how hitters can identify.
Yeah, once that breaking ball pops, those are the ones that you want to hit. When you see that breaking ball pop, those are going to be the ones that are going to be a strike and a good hittable pitch. When you don't see it pop, those are usually thrown for balls, but these are going for strikes. It's a really good curveball.
It seems like it's almost the way it goes through the strike zone. It almost feels like it's just dropping a bowling ball through it. Like we normally talk about that with like sinkers, right? But it just seems like a heavy breaking ball.
It's got a lot of spin rate to it.
.10 the score, bottom 5. This has been one of the wilder games you see all season. Certainly the wildest I think I've seen in a year that's had a lot of wild games. Upstairs, 2-1. Was it last night? NC State led Louisville 12-11 at the end of 5 and won 13-11. So the last 4 innings.
Last 4 innings went quick.
There were not a whole lot of action, but so it feels a little like that. Purify up the alley, left center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Purify will end up at second. Stopping at third is Chufo. And Clemson with a 2-out rally in this tie game.
Well, it is fun to watch Purify run. We talked about it. With Lim on the mound, no runs in the 2 innings that he pitched. Only giving up 1 hit, striking out 2. After Lim, with Trevor Moore coming into the ball game, 2 runs on 4 hits with 1 strikeout.
You just have to hope that Lim is okay with the way that they brought him out of the game. That's the biggest thing you hope for is Thomas Eager on his way out again. Pitching coach. He's asking how many mound visits they have remaining. They've had a few tonight.
It's been a lot for both teams.
His team is limited to 6 without making a pitching change. Very famously saw in Omaha a couple of years ago. Kevin O'Sullivan forgot how many there were, and his team then made T-shirts for with the ball the next day. He said, "Yes, I can count to 6." He had to pull his All-American closer out in the 8th inning of a game, and Brandon Neely, and it was a dicey moment, but it was Florida held on for the win, and then they all got to joke about it.
You could joke about it after the fact.
Christian Lim. Dugout after his 2-inning performance.
I mean, it is tough for a guy like Christian Lim. We saw him throw in the first inning. We saw him throw again in the second inning to really get prepared and really get ready. So almost like 2 up downs for him, meaning the pitcher goes out there, throws, and then sits down, gets cooled off, and needs to get back up again to warm up before he came into the ball game.
First pitch to Colin Priest, fouled back. And a check swing, 0-1. Priest, a 3-run homer in the first and an RBI double. Clemson with the go-ahead runs in scoring position here in the 5th. Outside, it's 1-1. Takes a strike in the count, 1-2. Or trying to keep this a tie game. Here's the set. And the 1-2. Foul back. This is back in the first inning. Colin Priest.
Oh, he got a change up down in the zone. That's exactly where a lefty wants it. And boy, he did not miss that one at all.
417 feet and 1 inch on that home run. That went down low, and the count 2-2. I mean, if you were going to be as accurate about Pano homer.
Well, that's good curve. Looked like a strike, too. A little down in the zone, maybe.
Baseball is a game of inches. Count is full. Three and 2 the count. 2 outs, Priest. Go-ahead runs in scoring position. The pitch. Priest clubs it deep down the right field line and hooking well foul.
Oh, boy. He saw that curveball. Now, that one stayed up in the zone. Priest almost had himself another home run. Just a little out in front.
Not sure that I would throw something soft to the strikes of Colin Priest based on what we've seen tonight.
It's got to be a heater here.
3-2. Upstairs, and the bases are loaded. Sophomore works a walk, and now they're loaded for Luke Gaffney. Gaffney's 3 for 3 tonight.
A little move there. Raising the hands on the heat is on.
See the 3 runners on base for Gaffney. Base is loaded. Takes a breaking ball high, 1-0. Have been interchanging Glenn Fry with the Venga boys all night.
And Gaffney's been having himself quite a night. 3 for 3 so far in the ball game.
Foul back.
This is definitely the biggest at-bat for him of the ball game. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Team just finished tying up the ball game, making it 10-10. One swing of the bat here really can open up the game for Clemson. Really, we've said that before. Stanford has battled back.
Clemson had a 3-0 lead at the end of 1. That one misses, and they led 8-5 at the end of 2. Stanford fought back in it. Now we're even at 10 here in the bottom of the 5th. Through time, the bases have been loaded for Clemson with 2 outs today. The pitch. Gaffney in the air to right, racing towards the line and slowing as Marsh will make the catch, and the inning is over. But Clemson gets a pair, and they get even. They are fired up trying to win this series. Josh Pino with a homer. Andrew Schufo, an RBI double. It's 10-10 in the 5th. We're glad to have you with us this evening on this cool but beautiful night. 10-10 the score. Both teams have had innings where they've scored 2, 3, and 5 runs. Obviously, we're tied on the scoreboard, and here's an incredible one for you. Both Stanford and Clemson have thrown 116 pitches tonight, so it's been pretty evenly matched this evening. Tatum Marsh, the talented freshman, leads things off for Stanford. 2 for 2 tonight. First pitch from Reed Garris is a strike, 0-1. Marsh had a pair of singles, scored a run, and knocked in one in the second. He was also hit by a pitch in the 4th. And he hits a hard one-hopper to second, knocked down by Purify, stays with it and throws him out. Leadoff man gone in the 6th.
That was a really nice job by Purify to just stay with it. That ball's well struck by Tatum. He's able to just gobble it up, keep it right in front of him. And what I liked the best was, too, that he did not panic. This ball's a one-hopper, hard, right in front of him. There's no panic, picks it up nice and easy, strong throw over to first.
Brady Reynolds, a single and a double tonight. Fouls it off, 0-1. What are the odds that the last half of this game looks a little different than the first half does?
You know what? I think that this is going to be one of those just crazy games of baseball. And right now, it seems like the offense is it's going to be an offensive day. Guys are swinging it well, hitting it hard.
Miss. The count 1-1. And Garris has done a nice job since entering the game for Clemson. Allowing just a hit in an inning and 2/3 so far. Both teams have used 5 pitchers to this point. That one just missed. 2-1. Tried to crowd him. Reynolds takes a strike. It's 2-2. Big righty Garris is set. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Blew the heater by him, 2 outs.
Tell you what, for Eric Bakich, he's really happy right now that Reed Garris is able to come in and do what he has done, especially in these last 2 innings. Just been kind of that shutdown guy, utilizing that 93-mile-an-hour fastball on the top of the zone. The way this game is going, it seems like it's going to be whichever pitcher can just keep the other team from not scoring one run.
Well, Garris has basically done what Christian Lim did for those 2 innings out of the Stanford pen in settling the game down. Since coming in, he has done an excellent job of that. Charlie Sohm will hit. 0 for 1 with a walk, and he fouls the first pitch back. The 0-1. 0-2.
2 really good fastballs right on the outside corner.
Garris entered tonight with an ERA in the season of 1.00. Yeah, Lucas Malstead is probably their most revered reliever. That went outside. It's 1-2. So it speaks to the quality we showed you earlier. Number 1 in the ACC in bullpen ERA. This is not one of those teams that you want to get into their A pen. The 1-2 in the dirt.
He's trying to utilize that cutter right on that outside corner to play off the fastball. He's just not able to really get it there.
Fastball's been pretty effective, though, so far tonight for Garris.
As the Vulcan split. Right in the middle of the 2 fingers.
The 2-2 to short. The sure-handed Shufo fires across, and a 1-2-3-6 for Garris. Through 5.5, Stanford and Clemson tied at 10. They've been really good overall, and their offense is terrific. Kyle Lodice did not play yesterday. I don't believe he was in the lineup today. He's been dealing with a little bit of an issue. Once they get him back with Drew Burris, it's a really talented Georgia Tech team as Sam Garwal's coming out for the 10th time this year. A lefty out of the Stanford bullpen. First pitch is a strike to Jacob Jarrell. It's 0-1.
And for Garwal, kind of unorthodox with the way that he throws a baseball. It's a real high 3/4 from over the top. Fastball's going to be 88 to 92, a slider and a changeup.
Missed. And the count 1-1. Stanford, if they have a chance in this game, probably starting in the 7th inning, you would see Aiden Keenan, their relief ace, begin to get loose. Foul tip, 1-2. You have to wonder if and when Clemson would go to Lucas Malstead. Garris through 2 1/3, excellent, but we can see 2 of the top relievers in the ACC playing a big factor in this game yet. The 1-2 to Jarrell. Hammered to center field. Hot going back. He looks up. It's gone. What a shot from Jarrell, his 7th home run in the last 10 games. 423 feet. And Clemson has the lead 11-10. Wow, we have seen them hit a couple of tanks in the last 2 innings.
The whole entire time, everybody's been talking about power. And where has the power been from Clemson? Yeah, they've been winning some games, but watch out, cameraman. Ball's coming at you. My goodness, Jacob Jarrell.
High up on the batter's eye. And that one will dunk in for a base hit. As Crichton reaches. Let's take another look at the home run from Jarrell. Wow.
Fastball up in the zone. Absolutely crushed to center field. Watch out, David, and no, ball coming at you.
Those are two true professionals there who didn't even budge.
Didn't even flinch.
A standing O from the booth for you,
I'll
gentlemen.
give it to you. I'll give it to you. That was outstanding.
Not only do you take home a souvenir, but you put yourself in harm's way for the success of the broadcast. Thank you, gents. 11-10, Clemson leads. Here's Josh Pano. Josh Pano hit a ball over the scoreboard his last trip.
And that's the thing that we've been talking about. Where has the power been? They've been winning games, but it's been, hitting some doubles and some singles and just basically out hitting another team. But for me, you need power to be able to really take it to that next level. And it seems like all of a sudden Clemson understands that. And one of the bigger guys who understands that is Jacob Gerald. How about 4 home runs in his past 3 games? The man is on fire.
He had an opposite field homer yesterday, and then that go-ahead home run here in the 6th off the batter's eye. But if we've learned anything from this game tonight, Gabby, there is still a long way to go in this one.
The way this game is going, there could be a 20 spot for both teams, the way that they've been battling and going toe-to-toe with one another.
Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Pano. Outside. Saw him stopped at 2-2.
That's a very good stop. I saw him being able to just get out there and keep the runner from getting the extra 90. It's one of the things that has been hurting Stanford. Hurt him in yesterday's ball game as well.
Called strike 3. Garwal gets a strikeout for the first out here in the 6th. That'll bring up Chufo, who doubled and scored the tying run in the 5th. Both teams have had leads. Both teams have seen them erased. Soft toss to first. Sends Crichton back to the bat. Down low, it's 1-0 to Chufo. Last year, Clemson was 24-3 when Chufo suffered his knee injury. This year they are 32-5. It is remarkable what he has meant to this team defensively. Transfer from Georgetown, takes a strike. It's 1-1. He's a guy that Eric Bakich said would not be surprised is a CEO of something, a corporation someday. He is that kind of player in person. Another toss to first. Chufo missed a bunch of time while playing at Georgetown because of injuries. And I really felt like his injury last year changed the complexion, certainly of Clemson's defense. I know the record wasn't quite as good after, although Clemson still was in a super regional. They were a very good team. But he is just such a steady defender at shortstop that it allows him to take a shortstop like Josh Pano and play him at third. I think he is one of those glue guy number 9 hitters in the way he plays. I'm a big fan of Andrew Chufo's game.
I'm right there with you, partner. You can have a guy that can solidify that shortstop spot. It's huge.
It's down on strikes here, 2 outs. And I'll turn things over for Dominic Listy, a leadoff man. A man who is obsessed with getting to first base has been at first base 3 different times tonight after reaching twice yesterday.
I like what he did last, AB. He ambushed real quick, got a pitch to hit, got himself a base hit with an RBI.
I wonder if with the leadoff man up, Crichton might be running here. That was the most aggressive throw to first we've seen from Garwal. Crichton's back.
Garwal was kind of thinking what you were thinking. Maybe sending Crichton here and seeing if they can get somebody in scoring position. If not, you have Listy starting off next inning with no one out. I've always been a fan with 2 outs, especially when you're at the top of the lineup. You have a guy on base who can run. Go ahead and send him.
Got a guy that handles the bat well, too, in Listy, so you start getting infielders moving around. We've already seen him have a base hit the other way. Step off here, disengagement.
Tom didn't know what was going on. He's telling Garwal to step off and started pointing to the numbers on his wristband.
A strike. And the count 1-1. Stanford has done most of their damage tonight with 2 outs. Clemson has just 1 hit with 2 outs and a man on. Strike again, and the count 1-2 now to Listy.
Now I definitely send him. Listy with 2 strikes on him. Get a big lead. Try to go first step. Even if he picks over, it's fine.
He goes. The pitch is a ball, and no throw by Psalms, so stolen base. Listy with a chance at an RBI.
Yeah, I like that there. As soon as that foot came up, he was off and running.
This is the same defensive positioning they had in the last at-bat for Listy.
He went the opposite way.
He went the other way in that 5-hole, the 5.5 hole or 6-hole over on the left side. Outside, and the count is full. Of course, you need a pitch probably out over the plate to handle that,
with
right?
a guy like Listy, because he can handle the bat. He can manipulate that bat as well. He can really do a good job of staying inside a pitch and kind of flick it the opposite way. If you're giving him that big of a zone, he will take advantage of it.
The 3-2, and Listy walks on base for a 4th time today. 2nd via the free pass. And here comes Cam Canarella. And now a chance for the Clemson star, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of walks tonight.
He's the only one in this Clemson lineup who's still in the lineup who has not gotten a hit. I think TP Wentworth didn't have a hit. He did get on base with a walk.
Everybody's reached at least once. Canarella 0 for 2. The star center fielder, this team up a run in the 6th, takes a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. A strike, and it's 0-2. Canarella's been very patient tonight.
I think he's trying to sit on off speed, sitting for the slider. He's gotten 2 really good pitches to be able to pull the trigger on.
Called strike 3. Painted on the outside corner. Canarella down on strikes, and the inning is over. But Clemson gets the lead on the Jacob Gerald solo home run. A big blast to center.
Oh, Jacob Gerald comes up clutch. Watch out, camera guys. Gives Clemson the lead, 11-10.
That's the official line score of a full moon right there. 11-10 the score. Clemson with the lead as we enter the final third of this one. And what has been a wild affair, and Clemson turning it over to their relief ace, Lucas Malstead.
And for Malstead being on the mound, he's a guy that can go multiple innings. I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes this game off. But the numbers are ridiculous. 38 strikeouts, 5 walks, a 1.01 ERA, 11 saves on the year. It's a low three-quarter sidewinder, 86 to 91 fastball, slider, changeup. Absolutely nasty.
Brandon Larson's going to come off the bench to hit for Court McDonald. A transfer from UC San Diego. And to wait for the music to get killed to start the inning. If Clemson holds on to win this game, again, they would take the series if they do. Reed Garris deserves an awful lot of flowers for settling this one down.
He did himself a really good job going 2 1/3, only allowing 1 hit and striking out 2 in a game where it just seemed like no pitcher could stop either offense.
Larson takes low, 1-1. But Garris and Malstead have been the keys to victory for Clemson this year. And again, what's on the line is a Clemson series win if they can hang on tonight, as Larson smokes one through Gaffney and down the line into right field. It's going to be a pinch hit, extra base hit for Larson, who'll stop at second, and Stanford has the tying run in scoring position to start the 7th.
This ball was absolutely hammered. 110 miles an hour off the bat, gets the fastball, line drive, hits, I believe, right off the lip of the grass, which that's a tough ball because all of a sudden it has different spin to it. But that ball was just ripped. I mean, I feel like Gaffney really didn't even have a chance to even put down the glove.
Seaborn Campbell is going to come on to pinch run. He's been sparingly used this year. You see a couple of Detroit kids there. Campbell and Purify grew up. Throw back behind the runner. They did give Larson a double. That's not a surprise. That ball was absolutely roasted.
I mean, as a first baseman, especially a ball hitting off the lip, that's not an easy one.
And a bunt by Ethan Hott, and this is trouble, and it's going to go for a base hit. Malstead couldn't get there. Purify couldn't get there quick enough. A bunt single for Hott, and now Stanford has him at the corners with nobody on the top of the order coming up.
And here's the thing, Malstead, he is a righty, so he does fall off to the right side, but he hesitated. The hesitation right there, the double hop before going after it, Purify has no chance. That was a really well-placed bunt by Hott.
Trevor Haskins homered earlier in this game, the leading home run hitter for Stanford, a triple shy of the cycle tonight. Stanford trying to snap a 10-game ACC losing streak. First pitch. Haskins takes a strike. It's 0-1.
And they have the right guy up. Trevor Haskins has been absolutely in fuego in today's ball game. 3 for 4, needs a triple for the Psycho.
Swing and a miss.
That's tough.
Frisbee breaking ball 0-2.
I think what you do with that is do it one more time. You just continue to throw it a little bit more and more off the plate. See if Haskins goes ahead and offers at it. Most of the time, I would say you want to throw that. Oh.
And they called Haskins out for a pitch timer violation.
Haskins didn't even say anything. He knew it right away. He walks off. He just lost track of time. He tried to get in there quick enough, but he was not ready. Got to get in that 8 seconds.
You have to be alert to the pitcher with 8 seconds to go.
And he had just jumped in at that 8-second mark. That's a tough one.
It was the third base umpire, Brian Miller, who was all over that. But a big first out, and here's Timo Becerra. First pitch, Becerra bunts, and they hold the runner at third. Malstead will throw him out at first.
That had to be something where maybe he did it on his own. Becerra put it on his own, because you would be thinking at that point that if you are going to bunt in that situation, it's like a safety squeeze. You're going to be running down that third base line. You're going to get a bigger secondary lead.
He was heading back to the bag.
That's a great job by Pano.
Yep.
Understanding that situation might happen, goes to third, acts like all of a sudden there's going to be a pickoff play, but you got to be a base runner. You've got to be a little bit smart, understanding that probably not going to be doing any pickoff play in that motion. You got to keep your eyes on that pitcher. If he picks over, you go back to it.
We have lauded the left side of the infield defense for Clemson an awful lot these first two nights of this series. As Sasaki takes a strike, but that shows the baseball IQ of Josh Pano, a guy who grew up around the game. His dad involved in travel ball for years and years and years in California. And what a smart play to take away the momentum from Campbell. But here's Sasaki, and he's behind in the count 0-2, as that one took a piece out of Gerald. Sasaki tonight is 0 for 3 with a walk. The freshman slugger, 6 for his last 47. Oh, and 2 the count. The pitch. Down low, 1-2. You know Sasaki, even behind the count, is going to put together a good at-bat.
I mean, we've seen really good at-bats from Sasaki. Not really the hits, but really good at-bats, being able to draw walks, not really chase.
The 1-2. Called strike 3. The top reliever in the ACC and a leading candidate for ACC Pitcher of the Year pitches out of a first and third, nobody out, jamming the 7th.
Oh, boy, goes with the pitch, the slider. Down and in. Rental doesn't like it. Malstead loves it.
Of the stars of this Clemson team and their big league mentors as Jaron Purify leads off. Squares the bunt, takes high, 1-0. I mentioned earlier, Purify from the Detroit area. There you see Cam Cantarella. But Purify grew up with his mom, a single mom who worked really hard to try and keep him involved in travel ball programs. I was reading a great story from a couple years ago in the Detroit Free Press on Purify and his background. And they used to have to make some choices on what he would be involved in. You know, travel ball is not cheap for a lot of families, and there were some limits to what events he could participate in, what kind of new gear he could get. But his mom did everything to ensure that he would have an opportunity. I don't know, from talking to Eric Bakich over the last 2 years, his amount of respect for the person that Jaron Purify is astronomical. Sky to left. Saborn Campbell, who grew up playing with Purify in Detroit, makes the catch. He stayed in the game as after pinch running. And leadoff man gone here in the 7th. One out for Colin Priest. You see Saborn Campbell. And here you go with Priest now, who is not from Michigan, but attended the University of Michigan for a year. It's nice when the game segues itself. Instead of you trying to do it for me. It's a strike. I'm not bitter about that. Priest had a big night, a 3-run homer, an RBI double. Also drawn a walk, and he's behind in the count 0-2. So I wondered, I thought Priest might have been recruited to Michigan by Eric Bakich and then spent a year there and ended up here, but it turns out it wasn't the case. It was Tracy Smith group that recruited him in Michigan. Baggett said they had a chance to get him out of high school, but they weren't able to. He was a strong commit to Michigan, spent a year there, and then found his way to Clemson.
I guarantee that Eric Baggett likes to have him on the team.
Yes. Raided the Big Ten in the portal with him and Luke Gaffney, who was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year last year at Purdue, who's on deck. Outside, it's 2-2. There's Gaffney. 2-2 the count. Clemson up a run in the bottom of the 7th. The 1-out pitch. Off the plate, and the count's full. There are no short at bats in these Clemson lineup, is it?
It just seems like every single guy is just battling in his at-bat. Long ABs.
3-2. Outside, ball 4. Second time the Priest has drawn a walk tonight.
Been on base 4 out of his 5 ABs. 2 walks, home run, and a double.
And Gaffney will bat, who has 3 hits tonight, including a 2-base hitter. Or 2-base hit. Gabby's now dancing to the Venga Boys. We've reached that portion of the evening.
Well, it happens. When you hear a song, you're right. It's like a little earworm.
First pitch to Gaffney. Foul.
Oh, heads out. Hope everybody's okay down there.
Nearly got a piece of Josh Pano. 0-1.
Somebody that you don't want to hit right now is Gerald.
No.
They're way too hot.
Gerald's the one doing the hitting right now. See what I did there? The 0-1. Foul back. It's 0-2. Clemson took the lead in the 6th on the Jacob Gerald home run to straightaway center field. The 0-2, a little tapper foul. Quintaro kept backing up on that ball, I think, hoping it was going to hit the dirt and go back fair.
Sam Garwal has actually really settled in after he gave up that home run to Gerald and the base hit to Creighton. Really has done a good job of getting through this lineup.
3 strikeouts for the left-hander. The 0-2, swing and a miss, make it 4 punch-outs.
Man, just
2 outs.
Utilizing that fastball at 89 miles an hour. Talked about, too, kind of the deception that he has and where he's throwing that baseball real from over the top. Gaffney cannot catch up to that one.
Two outs, man at first. Here's Gerald, a home run off the batter's eye his last trip to give Clemson the lead. Clemson just 1 for 6 with 2 outs, men on tonight. Gerald fouls it away. What did you say, 4 homers in his last 3 games?
4 homers in his last 3 games.
7 in his last 10. He's got 9 on the year.
He got hot quick.
He was a co-captain a season ago, even though he wasn't starting. They had Jimmy Obertop, who was another Michigan transfer behind the plate. We saw Gerald down the stretch a little bit. Hey, it's a check swing roller to second. Net I will feed to Becerra, and the inning is over. 1-out walk, a man left. To the 8th we go. 11-10 Clemson. There is so much that has happened in this game. Stanford was up 2 in the 5th. Josh Pano cleared the scoreboard to cut the deficit to 1 for Clemson. 2 batters later, Dominic Listy tied the game with that opposite field base hit. And then Jacob Gerald onto the scissors lift. And our camera position in center field to give the lead. And then Lucas Malstead got out of a first and third, nobody out jam, freezing Rintaro Sasaki to end the inning. Malstead back to work. You know that double that he gave up to lead off the seventh inning? As Malstead goes back to work in the eighth. This is to the pinch hitter Brandon Larson. Was the first extra base hit that Malstead has allowed all year. That's incredible. That's how good he has been, and he was able to get out of the jam with a little bit of help for some indecision on the base paths for Stanford.
I've seen that in the last couple of games. Kind of Stanford just hurting themselves.
And that tends to be the case, right? When teams are going through it, when they're fighting through it, right? That there are times where there are just a couple of miscues that happen that are poorly timed, and it makes it difficult to recover from. Jimmy Nadai taps it back to the mound, and Malstead will fire a strike to first for out number one. Here's Tatum Marsh. Two more hits on base 3 times tonight for the freshman Marsh. He had an opposite field homer yesterday. That was the lone tally for Stanford. So he has the power to be able to get this game tied. He's facing a tough customer in Malstead. It takes slow 1-0.
Malstead's the type of pitcher that I didn't want to face. I'm being honest with you. I hated sidewinders, and then sidewinders who could throw it into that 91 range with that sweeping slider all the way across. Not fun.
Marsh fouls that one back. It's 1-1. He's all arms and legs.
Everything coming at you. And he can also throw it 91 in on your hands as a righty.
It's all the way over on the first base side of the rubber, so that one fouled away. So when obviously if he was over on the third base side, right, the pitch would look like it's coming from behind you. When he's over on the first base side, where do you have to set your eyes for the release point?
That's the thing, is that you're not used to that spot. So your eyes, you really have to work to try to find where that location is going to be and where he's releasing that baseball.
Swing and a miss. Marsh down on strikes, 2 outs.
And that's what makes it so tough, because all of a sudden he ran a changeup in on the hands of pitch before, and then what does he do? Starts that slider right down the middle of the plate, and it breaks about a foot off the plate away. It's just a tough at-bat because he's able to control both sides of the plate.
2 outs for Brady Reynolds. Reynolds a single and a double. He struck out twice. First pitch upstairs, 1-0. Reynolds, who was a game-time decision because of his wrist-hand issue, is been a key part of the offense tonight. Although he's tardy there, it's 1-1. He's moved himself way up in the batter's box in this at-bat, too.
I think he's trying to take away the run of the fastball. Problem is that got a nasty slider that he can throw at you, too.
Checks did not go. It's 2-1.
Go, good call.
Clemson fans were unhappy with a swing call at home plate from Brandon Henson, our home plate umpire, earlier, so they're still a little chirpy over that. 2-2. The pitch into left on the run list. He dives, can't get it. He gets past him, it'll roll all the way up to the wall. A 2-out double for Reynolds, and the tying runs in scoring position for Stanford in the 8th.
You know what? I like Listy there taking a chance. You know that you have Cam Canarella in center field going to be able to back you up. This is just a really good job by Reynolds on that slider, staying on it, driving it the opposite way. And for Listy, understanding that you're probably not going to get it, but try to make the play. More often than not, it looks like that ball was going to be a double anyway. See if you can try to catch it, knowing that you have Canarella going to be able to back you up.
Luke Lavin is going to come on to pinch hit here for Charlie Saub. Sophomore Lavin will get the chance to hit here with the tying run in scoring position. Stanford has done a lot of damage with 2 outs and men on tonight. 6 for 13 in these spots. Lavin takes a strike, 0-1. You see that 9 of their 10 runs scored with 2 outs. A sophomore out of Santa Margarita Catholic waits and takes low. And the count 1-1. Lavin with a chance to tie this game if he can find the outfield grass. The 1-1 check swing roller. It's 1-2.
It's a really good pitch, that changeup. It plays off the fastball so well. It's a lot of movement to it.
2 outs, tying run at second, top of the 8th. Stanford down a run, trying to get even in this series and snap a 10-game ACC losing streak. And Lavin's down on strikes. And Malstead trying to fire up the crowd. The relief ace has posted a pair of zeros, and the Clemson bullpen's been dynamite again.
Oh, boy, after a changeup, just goes up the ladder with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball.
ACC Baseball is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. Fired up group of Clemson Tigers. Variations on Let's Go, which is not an art installation here at Clemson University, but instead just the squeals and delight from the Clemson pitchers. And boy, has Clemson's bullpen done the job so far. 4 1/3 scoreless innings, and Stanford will turn to their relief ace, Aiden Keenan, the former perfect game All-American, who will try and keep this a 1-run deficit.
Yeah, Aiden Keenan, their guy in that bullpen with the 3.06 ERA, 21 strikeouts to 5 free passes. It's a good fastball to 92 to 95. A slider, curveball. Does have a changeup. Mostly going to be fastball, slider. Just a really good arm on the mound. And really, when you're looking at this, you want Keenan to go out there and just throw up a 0. Not let Clemson get any insurance runs and see if you're able to come back and score at least 1 to keep the game going.
Lavin stays in the game behind the plate. And Tristan Bacetta will pinch hit to lead off the 8th for Clemson. Powerful left-handed hitter. He can really juice one. He swings and misses, and that fastball, it's 0-1.
He tried to. Bacetta wanted to get that insurance run real quick. It's a good fastball. Swings right underneath it.
The bottom of the order has done damage for Clemson tonight, but they really, does Stanford need a 0 here against the 7, 8, and 9. They're down a run, and looking ahead to Stanford's 9th, they'll have Seaborn Campbell, Ethan Hott, number 9 hitter who's had 3 hits, and then Trevor Haskins, who is a triple shy of the cycle tonight. Bacetta checks and takes a strike. It's 1-2. There you see Hott, who has been this evening, and there's Haskins, who was called out on strikes and a pitch timer violation his last time up. A upstairs, 2-2. And really, Gabby, that was the key sequence. It was Malstead, the first two had reached against. It was runners at the corners, pitch timer violation, strikeout, and then Timo Becerra laid down a bunt, and Saborn Campbell got bluffed back to third. And that helped Malstead get out of the inning. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Becerra down on strikes, and Keenan fires a fastball by him for the first out.
That's just a good fastball up in the zone at 95 miles an hour. That's exactly right now what David Esker needs from his pitcher. Just throw up another 0, give us a chance.
One out for Josh Pano. Pano a home run. Back at the 5th, and he's behind 0-1. And pulled Clemson within a run at that point. They would tie the game in that inning and then take the lead in the 6th on the Jacob Jarrell solo homer. That went to the screen, 1-1. That one missed. 2-1.
For Clemson, too, the bottom of the lineup has been doing some damage.
Strike, it's 2-2, yeah. The Pano homer. He also had a double and a walk earlier. Chufo's got a couple of hits. Scored the tying run in the 5th. Those are the guys that are no more for their glove. Pano fouls it away. They put together some tough at-bats at the bottom of the order. Everybody in this Clemson lineup does,
yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's really impressive, 1 through 9, how this Clemson ball club just continuously fights and just puts together really long ABs.
He must run the count full here. Three and 2 the count. And he takes ball 4. Clemson has been retired in order once in this game. Lim also faced a bit of him in the 4th, but needed a double play to get out of that. But this is just the relentlessness of this Clemson offense tonight. And all of the relievers for Stanford, with the exception of Lim, have struggled. And again, the plan for Stanford was opener 2 innings, turn it over to Lim, let him take it to Keenan, and it did not work out that way. And Lim only went 2 innings in the middle of this game.
Yeah, it's going to be something that we're going to have to ask Esker tomorrow, seeing what happened there in that situation. We did have a picture of Lim kind of looking like he was a little bit not in the right sort of frame of mind. Looked like he had something that was bothering him. It would be something we need to ask about and see what the situation is.
Yeah, I would hate to speculate about it. It is a cool night. There's Christian Lim. He was very good for his 2 innings this evening.
He was throwing the ball extremely well.
He did just 19 pitches to put up 2 zeros. In fact, those are the only 2 zeros that Stanford pitching has put up to this point tonight. Take it back, they did in the 7th as well, but he kept his team in the game, but Clemson has rallied, and they have the lead. 2-1 the count to Chufo. Hunter Bluff's going, Chufo to center, and Hot's right there. 2 outs. It'll be up to Dominic Listy, on base 4 times tonight. The on-base machine. He's decided he won't hit with his oven glove. He's going to stuff it in his back pocket.
Now, Pano at first base, he is 6 for 6 in stolen bases. And again, we talked about this a little bit earlier in that 6th inning, I believe, where go ahead and take a chance to see if you can get yourself into scoring position.
Outside of ball, 1-0.
Right now, Clemson would love that insurance run.
Do you feel like it's a little different situation here with 2 outs? Because, you know, in that situation, Listy would have led off the next inning. Like, this may be your last real chance to.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If all of a sudden, you know, Stanford is able to come back,
True.
You're going to then have your top of the lineup with Listy up next inning.
But would you rather have Listy hit with a man on now?
Well, I would rather have Listy hit with the man in scoring position.
Well, but that wasn't. Counselor, that wasn't the question.
Well, the question is, you're asking me whether or not to stay.
You're out of order.
I'm saying absolutely. I want to see Pano go out there and try to swipe this bag to get himself into scoring position.
I was just wondering if you would think twice about it because of the situation. If it might give you a bit more pause.
No.
Well, he's not running on the count.
It's also
3-0 on Listy.
It was 2-0. Now it's 3-0.
Yeah, I mean.
Now in this situation, of course you don't. But now on 3-1, I would think that you could send him.
That would make more sense, right?
Get a good pitch.
Yeah. 3-0. Listy takes a strike. It's 3-1. I mean, the other thing is that with Listy at the plate, there's a good chance that he's going to draw a walk, and you're going to be at second anyway. But 3-1 the count. Clemson up around last of the 8th. Runner bluffs going, and Listy sends it to left. Campbell backing up makes the catch. And the inning is over. We head to the 9th. Last chance for Stanford. They're trying to even this series, trailing 11-10. Top of the 9th inning, Clemson with a 1-run lead over Stanford. Clemson trying to go to 11-3 in conference play. Stanford trying to stop a 10-game ACC losing streak. You see where the standings are, the top 10 teams. Virginia at 8-9. Tristan Becerra stays in the game in right field here. These Clemson fans, I don't know how that little guy's not cold. Wearing shorts still. He doesn't seem all that concerned about it. See, that's what I'm talking about. Bundle up, kids. Still a hearty crowd here on this 3.5-hour plus ball game. It has been an entertaining one, that is for darn sure. Saborn Campbell will lead off against Lucas Malstead. And the first pitch is a strike, 0-1. Campbell entered as a pinch runner. It was part of a key play in this game with 1 out. He got deked into holding at third base on a safety squeeze attempt that would have tied the game. Lucas Malstead got the out at first and then got out of the inning.
Now this Stanford team has done something that no other team has been able to do, and that's just get an extra base hit against Malstead.
I think they've got a pair of them. The 0-2 to Campbell. He's down on strikes, and the leadoff man gone to the Stanford 9th.
This is what I would look like here too. This is just tough. That's a good slider. Starts on the middle part of the plate, breaks a bunch. It's just a really tough AB.
Ethan Hott reached on a bunt single his last trip. 11-10. Clemson leads. Clemson has not lost a weekend this year. They can clinch another series victory if they hold on tonight.
Ethan Hott has been the most clutch hitter for Stanford today. 2 hits with 2 outs, 4 RBIs.
He's done an excellent job filling it in center. He tried to check his swing. He went around. Ryan Clark says on appeal that it's 0-2.
Yep. That's a good call. That definitely broke the plane.
0-2 the count. Way outside, 1-2.
I'd like the change up here again. Malstead really likes to throw it, especially righty-righty. Right underneath the hands.
The 1-2. Just missed. Borderline pitch at the bottom of the zone. 2-2.
I had it down. I thought that was a good call.
Tried to check his swing. He held up, and the count is full.
Yeah, another good call.
That one looked pretty easy on that one, but Clemson fans trying to will a strikeout there. 3-2. Hot in the air, left center field. Canarella on the run. Slowing makes the catch. 2 outs. And the last chance for Stanford will be their leading home run hitter, Trevor Haskins. It all comes down to this, Gabby.
The one good thing, though, is that Haskins has already seen Malstead. The bad thing is he struck out his last AP against him on that pitch clock violation.
Trying to adjust his helmet and then lunge to get it in the box, and it was after the timer had gotten past the point that he needed to be alert to the pitcher. He does have a homer tonight. First pitch. Bounced foul. It's 0-1. Haskins has a history of clutch performances for Stanford. Mentioned it earlier, but he was the one that sent them to super regionals after they were down in the 9th inning against Texas State at home a couple of years ago. The 0-1 fouled away. And now Clemson 1 strike away from a hard-fought victory tonight. Clemson 11, Stanford 10. Malstead set. The 0-2. Floated into right field, a base hit. Haskins, 4th of the night, keeps the game alive, and it brings up the go-ahead run.
Trevor Haskins, boy, with 2 strikes, a good at-bat. Pitch that's in, but you can see he's just trying to stay back because he knows that Malstead has that good slider. So you're going to get beat on the fastball, but strong enough to still drive it out to right field for the base hit.
Timo Becerra does not have much power. Haskins, if you're wondering, 0 for 2 in stolen base attempts this year. Stanford does not run very often. Big shift on for Becerra, and he's hit by a pitch. And now the tying and go-ahead run are on, and here comes Rintaro Sasaki.
Remember, too, that last AB that Rintaro Sasaki had was that slider, and he thought it was a ball and ended up striking him out. Guarantee you that's a pitch that he probably will be looking for. But this is why he came here. He said it. Came here to Stanford to go to Omaha. He's in a position right now to help Stanford, one, break a losing streak of 10 games in the ACC play. You know the power is there. 140 career home runs in high school. That breaks the Japanese high school record.
In 3 years, he did that. And Sasaki, if you believe in someone being due, is 6 for his last 48. So the slugging first baseman has the tying and go-ahead runs aboard. And here comes Sasaki. Malstead set. The first pitch. Rintaro takes outside, 1-0. He has a very good idea of the strike zone. He does not go out of it very often, except maybe the fastball is above the zone.
But even the fastballs above the zone are still strikes.
1-0 the count. He rolls it to first. Glove by Gaffney. He'll take it to the bag. And Clemson holds on. They beat Stanford tonight 11-10 to clinch the series.
What a game, partner. An offensive output early on. It was a seesaw type game. Clemson with the lead. Stanford, then Clemson, then Stanford. Back to Clemson. Malstad coming in big, finishing the game off from the 7th inning on. This was a straight team win for Clemson. Wow.
Clemson 11, Stanford 10. The Tigers clinch their 6th consecutive ACC series. Join us tomorrow on ACC Network at 3 Eastern for the final game of this weekend series. Coming up next on ACC Network, it's all ACC for Gabby Sanchez and our entire ACC Network college baseball team. I'm Mike Farron. Thanks for joining us this evening from Doug Kingsmore Stadium, where the Clemson Tigers hang on to beat Stanford 11-10.